Hello, hello. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Christian Service University, where we are having the Love FM Kelchako Toothpaste High Schools debate. My name is Patricia Amabosu. Good afternoon to our viewers on Joy Prime, Joy Learning, to on radio. Yes, our listeners, Love 99.5 FM, and everybody joining us on social media. This is the Love FM Kelchako Toothpaste High Schools debate. Today is the 24th day of August 2026, and today we begin the quarterfinal stage of this particular competition. We're doing this in collaboration with the Ghana Education Service, the Ashanti Regional Students Representative Council, the Conference of First of Assisted Senior High Schools, and our title sponsor, that is Kelchako Toothpaste from Samara Company Limited. And the first competition that is going to be for the quarter-final stage is going to be between KNUST Senior High School and Opoku Ware School. Now, these two amazing schools are going to argue for and against the motion quote, Ghanaian workers are to blame for the collapse of businesses, not their bosses, unquote. We have Opoku Ware arguing for the motion and KNUST Senior High School going to argue against the motion. And so let's speak to the students and supporters, of course, from these two schools and gauge the mood, after which, of course, we speak to the patrons and set the ball rolling. You have 30 seconds, my beautiful lady, to tell me your name and what we should take away from your school this afternoon.
Thank you very much. My name is Akwa Jessie Grace, the head girls prefect of KNUST SHS, and I'm here to let you all know that Majuma is here with the fire, we are here with the heat, and we are here to light up the auditorium. So, Akatachi, watch your back.
Okay, watch your back. Are you ready to watch your back?
I am Augustine Fredio Ajimai, the WDS president for Opoku Ware School. You know, it has been a very long time since the stage felt the Akatachi presence, and now we are here. All we have to tell them is that they should prepare for us. We are here for the trophy, and we are not living without the trophy. So they should also watch their backs.
Okay, everybody should watch their backs today. Let me go back to the teacher from KNUST Senior High School, and please, in 30 seconds, share something also with us.
Okay, thank you, Patricia. Last week we announced our presence, and in fact, today too we are not mentioned with words. The Santase boy can be here and brag all day. But what we are saying is that victory is ours, and everybody should anticipate that indeed we will be crowning victorious at the end of the show.
Your name, please.
Samuel Obey.
Okay.
Co-patron for KNUST debating.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to go to the people coming from Santase. You heard your brother say some things. Do you want to rebut?
Well, I'm Mrs. Angela Riafe Asamoah Bafo. Well, I would like to tell him that we are not here to brag, but then we have prepared, so they should just watch out for us.
Okay, they should just watch out for us. Which school is going to make it to the semi-final stage of the Love FM Kelchako Toothpaste High Schools debate? Your guess is as good as mine. We say thank you so much to everybody watching us and listening to us right now. And don't forget that the hashtag remains LUVFMHSD. David, I'm done here. You can take it away.
Well, indeed, I have taken it away from the auditorium here at the Christian Service University College. Please put your hands together for yourselves. You are amazing. And your debaters have brought you this far. So put your hands together for your debaters and make some noise for your debaters, because you are at the quarter-final stage of the 2026 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate. And indeed, be proud. Be proud of yourselves. Be proud of your debaters. Like I said a while ago, your school has made it to the quarter-final stage of the Kelchako Love FM High Schools debate for the year 2026. Like Patricia said, today is Monday, the 24th of August, 2026. We get to begin the quarterfinal stages of the Love FM Kelchako Toothpaste High Schools debate. We're happy to be with you. Now, let's say a big thank you to GES Ashanti Region, to the Conference of Heads of our sister secondary schools, and of course to the Ashanti Regional SRC. Please put your hands together for all of them. And let's also say a very big thank you to our host, the Christian Service University, for giving us this wonderful auditorium. Please put your hands together for the Christian Service University. Now, you are in here in this beautiful auditorium, but there are viewers out there on television, on Joy Prime and Joy Learning. There are viewers on our socials, on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. There are listeners on Love 99.5. Please show them some love as well by putting your hands together for them and make some noise to them so that they can hear you. All right, so this is the 8th edition. 7 years ago, we began this beautiful competition. We've had 7 winners already. The first winner was in T.I. Amas. The second was St. Jerome. The third was St. Monica's. The fourth was high school. The fifth was Prempeh College. The sixth was, high school. And of course, the defending champions, who unfortunately have been kicked out, is Prempeh College, who will win the 2026 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate. For your information, our title sponsor is Kel Charcoal Toothpaste from Samara Company Limited. We're also supported by Didi Shuto Homemade Taste, Best Brain Publications, Christian Service University, 1+400, Jackson University College, New Generation Investment Services, Abansia Community Bank PLC, Seppo Musical Pen, Bigo and Vena Mineral Water from Trillium Industrial Company Limited, Otuasekan Community Bank, Tamak Questions and Answers Textbooks, Orion, Cyrus Publications, St. Ben Jewelry, The Sea Travels, Franzacos Limited, and Broadview Christian Academy. Please put your hands together for our sponsors as well. In no time, the first contest will begin. And as you're very much aware, the first contest is going to be between Opoku Ware School and, of course, KNUST Senior High School. The motion is Ghanaian workers are to blame for the collapse of businesses, not their bosses. Opoku Ware School are for the motion, and, of course, KNUST Senior High, they are against the motion. Now, let me introduce to you some of the very special persons we have in our midst right now. To begin with, we have the patron and the chairperson for the Love FM High Schools debate here present as always. For your information, she is an educationist, she is a youth and marriage counselor, she is a preacher, a mentor, and a philanthropist. Now, she has counseled the youth and students since 1978. She's a renowned marriage counselor. Now, as an educationist, she has over 55 years of experience both in Ghana and abroad. Now, she's a former assistant headmistress of Kumasi High School and the headmistress of KNUST Senior JHS from 1992 to 2008. Now, she's a co-founder and the principal of Jackson University College, which offers a 1-year postgraduate diploma in education, master's and MPhil in maths, English, guidance and counseling, educational leadership, and administration, plus B.Ed programs. Now, in partnership with NIIT India, they offer many technology programs. Now, her passion is to instill moral training to the youth in order to transform society. Now, she is married to Professor Ebenezer Assefa Jackson, and by the grace of God, they've got 4 amazing adult children, Daniel, Emmanuel, Nora, and Ebenezer. Please, our chairperson is here with us, Mrs. Theodosia Wilhelmina Jackson. So, ma'am, on behalf of our viewers, our listeners on radio, the audience here, we say good afternoon to you and welcome. Now, because it's a debate, we definitely need a panel of judges who will be doing justice to the debate, because the debaters will be mounting the podium, they will be engaging on the motion, and at the end of the day, they ought to be awarded marks, so we would be able to judge the winner. Now, when Patricia was engaging with the patrons, and of course, the trainers and the students, they all have the faith and the belief that they would win. But there's one spot for only one winner. Who will pick that spot? We will find out in a bit. But let me introduce you a panel of judges. We have Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Akosia Andrews. Now, she is she is an educationist, and she's been doing this for the past 26 years. Please put your hands together for Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Akosia Andrews, and she's here as one of our judges. Another judge present this afternoon is Reverend Joseph Janvible. Now, he is also with the theology department here at the Christian Service University. She's been teaching for God knows how long. Please show him some love as well. Reverend Joseph Janvible. Now, with that out of the way, there's this gentleman who is very fond of the students. The students are equally fond of him. He says he will, assess, must prove and all that. Some of them call him Pierrot. He has several nicknames. Now, this afternoon, he's also here with us. Dr. Peter Arthur is the name. Now, for your information, he's a senior lecturer and former head of the Department of English at KNUST, former head of the Department of Language and Communication Sciences, KNUST, and a textual analyst. Ladies and gentlemen, please show some love to our lead judge, Dr. Peter Arthur. Now, I'm sure that many of you know the rules of engagement and, of course, how the judges score. But like I always say when I get the opportunity, we have a very first timer for everything. So somebody could be watching us for the very first time. Somebody might be listening to us for the very first time. So we want to run you through the rules of engagement. We're going to take about 3 minutes of your time just to explain things to you. So when we are announcing the results, you get to be able to understand it and appreciate it much better. Who else will do this for us than the lead judge, Dr. Peter Arthur? Please put your hands together for Pierrot. Looking very parliamentarian this afternoon.
It's good. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. Yeah, Madam Chair, I think with your permission, I'll go straight ahead and give the breakdown of the rules. My dear students, we have 5 parameters I keep on saying. Organization and clarity, argument and development, effective use of rebuttal, presentation style, and role as a particular debater. Now, let's break them down. Organization and clarity, you know, you raise a point, you develop it, you come to a good conclusion, and you make sure that the points are well distributed. We don't talk about transition. You must have adverbs indicating that this is a main point, always. Because if you don't do that, then it becomes difficult for us to know exactly what your main point is. The first speaker is taking 15 marks for that. The second speaker is taking 10. And then for the summary, we are having 5 marks for that. Arguments and development. Please pay particular attention here because we are going up and we are scaling things up. We've been speaking about logical reasoning. That is what we call reasoning progression. Step 1, step 2, step 3, that sort of thing. Now we are moving on to another section. You see, when we talk about argument, normally some of us think, in some textbooks they say it's persuasion, right? No. You speak or you argue to convince and you argue to persuade, and the two are not the same. Now, for convincing, you have been doing it, and that is to appeal to the mind. That is logic. Okay, this time you are going to appeal to the heart. So, as you do your reasoning, make sure that you add what you call persuasion. Persuasion is simple. You take the values, the fears, the hopes, the beliefs, and all sorts of a group of people. It could be a group, an ethnic group. It could be religious group. It could be a country. It could be a school institution, whatever. And then what you do is that you take their values and then play along with that. You understand? We would like to see you do that. For this, we are watching you. But next stage will be very hard on that. Because you see that once you introduce it, then you are arguing. It's not only convincing. The first speaker is taking 15 marks for that. The second speaker is taking 10 marks for that. And then for the summary, we have 5 marks. Effective use of rebuttal. You know it already. You look at the logical gap. You see, for rebuttal, you can't rebut emotion, but you can rebut the mind. So you look at the progression, and if there is any gap there, you take advantage of it. You name it, and then you explain, and you prove that the person is speaking wrongly. The first speaker is taking 5 marks. The reason is that the first speaker for the pro, or those who are for, comes here, nobody has spoken. But he can do what we call preemptive rebutting. Preemptive rebutting is that you imagine that he could say this, he could say that, he could say that, all right? So we have sealed it, 5 marks for that. It doesn't go beyond that. Then the second speaker, it is the duty of the second speaker to come and do rebuttal. And for that matter, we have 10 marks. Now, for the summary, there is nothing here, but we say that if you are a first speaker and you come back and you are doing the summary and you keep rebutting, yeah, we accept that because it's part of the game. So we add on to what the second speaker has given us. Now we come to presentation style. body language. You know it already. Engage your people, right? Make sure you use the floor and use it very well. Your eye, your face, your hands, your movements. Make sure all of them are communicating. Now, when it comes to language, make sure you're using good language, good grammar, good syntax, that sort of thing, and good pronunciation. Now, stage behavior. Be sure there is no excitement. And do not rush us. No, you are not parrot. As if you are possessed. No, we are not going to accept that, okay? Good. The first speaker is taking 8 marks for that, and then the second speaker is taking 5 marks. And for the summary, we have 2 marks there. And rule as a particular debater is if you are first speaker, you come powerfully. Second speaker is only trying to support you. Good. Now let's go to the rules. The principal speaker on the affirmative team presents argument in support of the motion, and the principal speaker is taking 10 minutes for that. And then the principal speaker on the opposing team presents arguments opposing the resolution. He or she is also taking 10 minutes for that. And then the second speaker on the affirmative team presents further arguments in support of the resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and answers questions that may have been raised by the opposition speaker. This time, 7 minutes for that. And then the second speaker on the opposing team presents further arguments against the resolution and then raise further areas of conflict and answers questions that may have been raised by the previous affirmative speaker. 7 minutes for that. And then the principal speaker, this time on the affirmative team, comes with closing statement to their argument without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals if necessary. This time, 5 minutes for that. And then the principal speaker on the opposing team comes with closing arguments or closing statements to their argument without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals if necessary. That is also taking 5 minutes. Please note that if you're a speaker, you have to be audible, and you have to wait for your turn. Do not interrupt anybody when the person is speaking. The principal speaker is presenting 5 points, and then the supporting speaker is presenting 3 points. Now listen to me. He who has assets, oh yeah, that shows that you are old in the game. He who asserts, good. And in order to establish an assertion, the team must support it with enough facts and evidence. Mind you, facts and evidence must be accurate. Examples of visual materials are permissible, and once introduced, they become available for the opponent's use as well. Tangible evidence must be tendered as exhibits to support facts. And then in rebuttals, the debater rebutting may ask any constructive and clear question that has a direct bearing on the point raised. And the one rebutting must confine him or herself to questions and not to make statements, comments, or ask any rhetorical question. Supporters from both sides are to exercise discipline, not to induce, frustrate, or intimidate opponents. If you do that, marks will be deducted. Now, let's talk about time. If you are on floor and the bell goes, you stop. Wherever you are, you stop. If you go against the bell, marks will be deducted. In the event of a tie, the 2 schools involved will be given a motion to debate within 24 hours. Now, let's take note of this. The score of one judge cannot overturn the score of 2 judges. And for that matter, we have either the majority decision from the judges, and what that means is that 2 judges score for a school, or we have the unanimous decision, and this time all the 3 judges are scoring for the school. Now, you see the gentleman on my left. If you happen to have any problem whatsoever, just see him and he will make sure that things are put in their proper place. We come back to time, reporting time. Reporting time for the context is 12:30 and it remains 12:30. So you have to be here by 12:30. If you are late, you are disqualified. It's as simple as that. Mr. MC, I am done.
Please show him some love for me. And I just want to clarify something. When Dr. Peter Arthur says he has any problem whatsoever, he is talking about whatever relates to the debate. Any other problem, I cannot help you with. If you need money and you need some other things, I cannot help. If it has to do with a challenge on your score sheet, then I can take it up for you. Please, one more time, show him some love. Dr. Peter Arthur, our lead judge. All right, so he talks about debaters who should respect time. And so we have the accurate timekeeper with us. His name is Kelvin. And so, listen, to the principal speakers, he said you have 10 minutes. Now, when you have 2 more minutes on that 10 minutes, this is what you would hear. And when you have exhausted your 10 minutes, he will alert you by doing this. And that is where Dr. Peter Arthur says, stop debating, stop engaging, stop talking. For the supporting speakers, you've got 7 minutes for yourselves. When you have 2 more minutes to go on that 7 minutes, he will do this for you. And again, when your time is exactly, entirely up, this is what you would hear. Aside from that, for the summaries, when the principal speakers come back, again, you would have 5 minutes. So when you have exhausted 3 minutes and you have 2 minutes on your time, you will hear this. All right, so that is it to all the debaters. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the debate? Yes. No, I'm not feeling your energy right now. Are you ready for the debate? Yes. Are you sure you're ready? Yes. Okay, so let's go to Opoku Ware School. Akateche. Akateche. One more time. Akateche. Please, students of Opoku Ware School, stand for me. You're standing right now. I'm sure some of you are not new to this drill at all. Some of you might be new to it. You're standing at this very point in time because you have to sing for us your school anthem. Sing it with pride, joy, with all the energy you can master. After which we get to invite your debaters to mount the podium, grab their seats, and when it's their time, they will debate. Are you ready to sing your school anthem? Are you sure? Then on 3, Francis will help you do it. 1, 2, 3.
And the host and always ready.
All right, so keep clapping, keep clapping. Let's welcome your debaters now. Make some noise for Ebenezer Sayram Kalupui and of course Prince Kari J. Ebenezer is the principal speaker, Prince is the supporting speaker, and there they are. I recall vividly seeing them somewhere last week. They are here again because they've made it to the quarterfinal stage of the 2026 edition of the Love FM Culture Toothpaste High Schools debate. They are comfortably seated. Students of Opoku Ware School, please take your seats as well. Thank you very much. Maginima. Maginima. Nyansapo. Please stand for me as well. You know the drill. You heard students from Opoku Ware School sing their school anthem. They sang with pride and joy. They are, a boys' school, but they still have some trouble in there as well. You are a mixture of both boys and girls. So I'm wondering how you'll be singing your school anthem right now. So my ears are attentive and ready to listen to you. Question is, are you ready to sing your school anthem? Yes. I like the energy. Let's try it one more time. Are you ready to sing your school anthem? Yes. So then let's do it on 3. Together with Francis Drewy. 1, 2, go.
Say that things before us, not alone behind. But the very spirit at our beset, we shall dream of shrinking by Jehovah. Throughout toils and fight, Jordan flows before us, Zion beams with eye. Jordan flows before us, Zion beams with eye.
Magima, Nyansapo. Are your debaters here? Are your debaters ready? Let's welcome them. And Nesina also said Chan is the principal speaker of Tesina Abugui. Malbo is the supporting speaker. There they are. Holding hands together. They've just mounted the podium. They have just about to take their seats. And when it's their turn, they will also debate. Please sit down for me. Thank you so much. As usual, they go to their opponents and they shake their hands. They say, give me a good contest. I like that gesture. Please put your hands together for them one more time. To our audience on Facebook, to our audience on YouTube, to our audience on TikTok, listen, we'd like to hear from you. Becca is here. She always reads your messages for you. You know that already. So when the debate begins and you're enjoying any part of the debate, just drop comments about it and she will share that bit with all of us. Having said that, Madam Chairperson, do we have a blessing to begin? Okay, she's given her blessing. Now this is the motion. Ghanaian workers are to blame for the collapse of businesses, not their bosses. Opoku Ware School are for the motion, and KNUST Senior High School, they are against the motion. So let's invite the principal speaker for Opoku Ware School, Ebenezer Sayram, to begin the debate.
They say a business is like a car. The owners provide the fuel and the workers are the engine. What happens if the engine decides to steal the fuel, sleep instead of drive, and insult the passengers? The car will crash. The chairperson, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, adversaries, guests, ladies and gentlemen, I paid due homage to you all. Christened with the name Ebenezer Sayram Kulipu, I stand here representing Opoku Ware School, and we are in full support of the motion, quote and unquote, Ghanaian workers are to blame for the collapse of businesses, not their bosses. Permit me to demystify the key terms in the motion. A Ghanaian is a person from Ghana or of Ghanaian descent. A worker is a member of the working class. A business is a commercial or sometimes an industrial enterprise. And a boss is someone who exercises control and authority. All these informations were provided to us by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. And therefore, the motion in its entirety means that when businesses fail, it is the fault of the Ghanaian worker, not the person who owns and invests into the business. And we on the affirmative side believe that with all conviction. A Greek philosopher by name Heraclitus will tell you, a man's character is his destiny. Today, I submit to you that a worker's character is a business destiny. Our logic is simple and clear, and soon will be to the whole house as well, that when businesses fail, it is the fault of the Ghanaian worker, not their boss. Here's why we think so. My first reason is businesses fail because of theft, fraud, and dishonesty by the Ghanaian worker. Businesses don't thrive because when profit or the slightest avenue of it falls into the hand of the Ghanaian worker, he or she becomes consumed by avarice and therefore moves to steal from the company they work for. They falsify figures, increase prices, and pocket profits instead of protecting the boss's investment. This is backed by a Bank of Ghana report on 2024 that shows that theft cases in the service delivery sector increased from 156 cases to 267 cases, representing a 71% increase. The house, whoever can be honest with very little, can be honest with much. In the same vein, whoever can be dishonest with very little can be dishonest with much. Secondly, businesses collapse because the Ghanaian worker is only productive when their supervisors are around. Many workers can come to work for an entire day, month, or year and remain unproductive. But the moment they get word that their bosses and supervisors are arriving, they fall under pretense and deliberately feign hard work as though their lives depended on it. Workers and teachers in the house, you and I are aware of that one teacher, that worker who is in your school, who is in your business, that only pretends to be working when the circuit supervisor or the proprietor of the business is around. Ghanaian workers are not productive. And even a research by the Graphic Online will show how these negative behaviors are affecting our businesses. The Bible will tell you, lazy hands make for poverty, and diligent hands bring wealth. Similarly, a business cannot generate wealth if the workers only pretend to work when the bosses and supervisors are around. My third reason is poor customer service by Ghanaian workers is a reason for Ghana's businesses collapsing. We all agree that the customer is always right. But more importantly, the customer must be treated right. For without the customer, there is no business. And yet, this virtue that our Ghanaian workers seem to lack is what is driving bosses' business to certain doom. Frontline workers, such as hotel receptionists, nurses, teachers, among others, treat the customer as an enemy. They frown upon them as if they are a nuisance, which I'm sure you all know too well from personal experiences. This makes it all the more paradoxical because the same people who are to bring profit into a business are the same people our Ghanaian workers seem to be driving away. And it's so concerning that a research by the Ghana Customer Service Delivery Index shows that customer service satisfaction decreased sharply from 71% to 59%. My fourth reason is businesses collapse because the Ghanaian worker has no sense of ownership. It is truly a sad sight when you see Ghanaian workers treat businesses with all manner of unscrupulousness and carelessness, with the notion that since the business is not theirs, neither is it their family relatives, they are not obliged to treat it with carefulness. This causes them to leave workplaces in terrible conditions, with machines left to become faulty and goods left to spoil. When a car is about to break down, it will give signs. Just to put things in a perspective, our commercial drivers drive vehicles anyhow and cause them to become faulty and later leave the expenses for its recovery for the boss to take care of. My fifth and final reason is businesses collapse because the Ghanaian worker refuses to upgrade their skill. The Ghanaian worker is often adamant in upgrading their skill and tends to cite past workers, saying that if it worked then, it would work now, while being fully aware that not all skills and qualities withstand the test of time. As any successful 21st century business requires digital skills. But a research by the World Bank will show you that 86% of firms in Ghana have access to digital tools, but only 57% of them use them effectively. If these are what our statistics are telling us, are we then surprised when our businesses fail? Having affirmed my stance, I will now move to clear in advance the cobwebs of confusion my opponents may try to weave in this house. My opponents may argue that businesses wouldn't fail if bosses would just supervise their workers. And to that, I ask, by that logic, are owners of multimedia group of companies supposed to take a car every day and roam around the country supervising every one of their workers? My opponents may also argue that workers steal because of poor working conditions. The House, no one was forced at gunpoint to accept a job. You saw the job, you saw the salary, and you took the job. If you don't like the working conditions, you resign, not steal. My opponents may also lastly argue that it is bosses that mismanage a business capital in an attempt to live a lavish lifestyle. Whatever money a boss will spend lavishly will still come from the profits generated by the workers. If the workers fail to do their business, there will be no profit for bosses to spend lavishly. As I conclude, I want to say a boss's job is to plan and provide the money. It is a worker's job to execute it. Success is not built in the hands of one, and that is why every boss would seek to employ workers. But a boss's business cannot be successful, nor any other business for that matter, if his own workers are his Achilles heel. And I'm certain that our argument proves that. And as I take my seat, let us be reminded that this argument, given its nature, thrives on the principle of soundness of argument and clarity over loud, rapid delivery. Concrete logic over theatrics and emotional outbursts. We are here to address the audience and not the script. Thank you.
They say that when a ship sinks, blame the sailors. But let us ask ourselves, who designed the ship? Who chose its captain? Who determined its route? And who was responsible to ensure that it was seaworthy? Your guess is as good as mine, but I don't know about you, my opponents. But to you, the ever-wise chair, bold and impartial jury, man of the clock, worthy opponents, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Standing before you today, my name is Owusu Setre Echa Ernestina, principal speaker from KNUST Senior High School, vehemently opposing the motion, quote and unquote. Ghanaian workers are to blame for the collapse of businesses, not their bosses. The chair, we do not deny that some workers may be irresponsible or undisciplined. However, it is intellectually unfair to blame the collapse of businesses mainly on the workers, while completely exonerating those who own, manage, and finance the businesses. Madam Chair, with your permission, I would like to explain the key terms used in the motion. According to Forbes, a business is a system involving workers, managers, capital, markets, government policies, and infrastructure. According to the Collins Dictionary, blame means to hold accountable for or disapprove because of some neglect, omission, or the like. Longman Dictionary defines collapse as a sudden failure in the way something works so that it cannot continue. According to the Labour Act 2003, at 651, a Ghanaian worker is any person employed under a contract of employment or apprenticeship, whether on a continuous, part-time, temporary or casual basis in Ghana. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines a boss as a person who exercises control or authority, specifically one who directs or supervises workers. Ladies and gentlemen, the motion in simple terms posits that Ghanaian workers are supposed to be held accountable for the failures of businesses in this country. But when businesses collapse, responsibilities must be examined holistically rather than automatically placed on the workers. In light of this, the chair, our first point in support of our stance is mismanagement by some leaders of business entities is a major cause of business failures. The chair, owners and managers of businesses determine strategies, allocation of resources, set prices, choose suppliers, and determine how profits are reinvested. If, however, bosses of such companies decides to make poor decisions such as spending excessively on unnecessary vehicles, personal interests, and personal luxuries, if such companies begin to struggle and eventually collapse, will it be fair to blame the ordinary worker? Impartial panel of judges, evidence I have shows that in the year 2004, Ghana Airways was liquidated and collapsed due to its high debt situation, management, and operational woes. The chair, under the same points of mismanagement, 9 viable banks, including the Unibank, GN Bank, UT Bank, and the rest, collapsed between the years of 2017 and 2020. Guess what the root causes were? Severe insolvency, high levels of non-performing loans, poor corporate governance, and liquidity impairments. Honorable judges, we blame the bosses because they are the ones who exercise power over authority, money, strategy, and information that ordinary workers simply do not have. With this, our second point in support of our stance is weak internal structures by some bosses can make a business vulnerable to unforeseen problems. The chair, let's contextualize our arguments here, and I begin with one natural phenomenon, COVID-19. A survey conducted by Ghana Statistical Service in partnership with the United Nations Development Program and the World Bank and reported by Ghana News Agency revealed that more than 14,000 businesses were still closed even years after the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Arthur, before my opponents jump in to rebut that COVID-19 is a natural phenomenon, which you all know, I will hasten to add that why then were some businesses able to withstand this same pandemic while others could not? The answer is not far-fetched. We have the evidence right here. Due to proper internal structures and proactiveness by some bosses, including our honorable chairperson, Madam Jackson, Jackson University College still thrives while others collapse. The chair, another phenomenon that can affect businesses is the sudden depreciation of the cedi. Honorable judges, we tender in evidence. The most important thing here is, in this same situation where businesses collapsed, others survived due to proper internal structures by the bosses, not the workers. The chair, points 3. We debate that poor working environments can significantly lead to the collapse of businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, workers cannot reasonably be expected to produce excellent results when management fails to provide adequate equipment, safe facilities, sufficient materials, and proper working environments. Ladies and gentlemen, workers are not magicians. If you give them the best, you get the best. If they have poor logistics to work with, your guess is as good as mine. We do not need to go far. Uncle David, imagine this afternoon, all the machines that we are working with are so bad. Would you even have the appetite to be the master of ceremonies? And can anybody have moral right to blame you if there's eventual failure? What about toxic working environment? An environment where the boss sees himself as the alpha and omega, and the rest at best second-class citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all watch this video. my opponents, the workers themselves know that if they don't take action, the boss will collapse their business. Why then do you blame the Ghanaian workers for the failure of businesses? The chair points 4. Poor recruitment processes on the part of bosses is a major factor that contributes to the collapse of businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, workers do not magically appear in a business. Employers employ them. If, however, recruitment processes are bedeviled with nepotism, cronyism, favoritism, clientelism, and all the isms, the implication is often square pegs in round holes. Impartial panel of judges, let's listen to this headline. I quote, Ghana grapples with sex for jobs. The rest I tender as evidence. According to the report, sex for jobs has become a silent epidemic in Ghana's labor environment. The chair, this is damning, yet it is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, when bosses create such an enabling environment for such evils to thrive, who should we blame when businesses collapse? My opponents, you should have better answers. The chair, our 5th point in support of our stance is lack of training and skill development contributes to the collapse of businesses. The chair, ladies and gentlemen, when workers are placed in positions without adequate equipment, they are likely to produce poor quality work. Any serious boss will provide avenues for in-service training, workshops, mentorship, and development opportunities that continue to produce the best of employees to meet the changing demands in technology and 21st century skills. With this, the chair, today, I doff my cap for multimedia. Many workers have left multimedia, but it's never collapsed. The secret is that it takes management, the bosses, to make and unmake workers. The same way it takes bosses to collapse or maintain a business, not the workers. The chair, the house, rebuttals. My opponent said in their introduction that a business is like a car, the workers are the engine. So what happens if the engine fails? When an engine is about to fail, it gives signs. So the owner of the car must have the sense to change the engine before it fails. Again, my opponent said that businesses collapse because of theft, fraud, and dishonesty. My opponent, a competent boss of a business, must ensure that workers are held accountable for all their actions. Why then do you claim that dishonesty can fail a business? Ladies and gentlemen, my opponent said that poor customer service by Ghanaian workers contributes to the collapse of businesses. My opponents, this is oversimplification. Any competent boss provides avenues for customer feedback so that customers can communicate with the bosses their problems. Also, my opponent said that businesses collapse because the Ghanaian worker has no sense of ownership. Yes, they have no sense of ownership, meaning that management is in the hands of the boss. So if there is any failure, the boss must be blamed. They said that businesses collapse because Ghanaian workers refuse to upgrade their skills. Upgrading skills is not the job of the worker. It is the job of the boss to provide in-service training and mentorship so that the skills of the worker can be upgraded. They also said that bosses can supervise everywhere. Yes, we agree with that. Taking our schools for example, in the absence of the headmaster, there are administrators, the senior housemaster, the senior housemistress. There are many assistants. And in some schools, there are CCTV cameras that supervises the actions of workers. So my opponents, why don't you blame workers? I rest my case.
Enoch Senyo Vences. In this sight, you and I shall conquer. For in 1997, a small ambitious bakery opened its doors here in Kumasi. Yes, it did seem promising on paper, but after 18 months, the business collapsed. Why? Because workers stole bags of flour behind closed doors, exhibited apathy and theft. This is not the problem of the boss. It is the workforce that sucked the business dry. Madam Chairperson, respected adjudicators, hello Mr. Kevin, keeper of our final seconds, friends on the opposing bench, dear listeners, and all protocols duly observed, good afternoon. My opponent stands on a sinking ship today, claiming it is a fortress, and I Prince Ajay Curry of Opoku Ware School step up to lock all the emergency exits, upholding the motion, quote and unquote. Ghanaian workers are to blame for the collapsing of businesses, not their bosses. The House, to our set point, we argue that indeed we are to blame Ghanaian workers because of their strategic customer misdirection. Now let's talk. This is a predatory practice where workers execute a complete 180-degree redirection of paying customers away from businesses into their own pocket. The market demand is there. Clients come and yet businesses are failing. Why? Because workers will connive. They will cannibalize the revenue stream of businesses. They will be like, oh, you know my boss is taking 5,000. Just bring 2,000 and I will do it for you. This is a shame. It hurts, but I must debate on fact and reality, not on assumptions. To our 7th point, we argue that we are to blame Ghanaian workers because of their entitlement mentality towards work. In Ghana today, workers are measuring the ability of their employers to pay their own pocket debt instead of the debt of their own productivity. The House, when this happens, instead of their own productivity, and this leads to intentional negligences, unauthorized leakage of vital company data, which collapses the business. Dr. David Ekulu on btfonline.com stated, and I quote, that no degree of sophisticated data can stop an employee who wants to partner with criminals and lease confidential information. Let's look at 2022, where a heading logistics company said that it experienced a theft case of worth over 2 million Ghana cedis, and they realized upon scrutiny that it was a coordinated internal operation. Sellers that are supposed to make products and services available to customers are now selling company secrets to other competitors. Oh, to our last and final point, the House. It is true that we are blaming Ghanaian workers, but let us speak from the perspective of the bosses. For this point, call me Boss Prince Curry. Madam Jackson, we bosses strive. We work hard, but we are still painted as villains, sitting in air-conditioned rooms, sipping iced water. Yes, my opponents may argue that bosses are harsh and then they lack leadership skills. Fine, let them take it. But let's assume a boss is harsh. Does the bad mood of a boss directly empty a cash register? Does a boss being harsh enter into a storehouse to steal 50 bags of rice? No. A boss can be a saint or a sinner, but it is the workforce that holds the knife over the neck of the business. And the lamentations of this young boss support my points.
If taking everything from my shop and run away. This is why when people grow up to somewhere and they become some entrepreneurs, they are wicked, and then they treat their employees very terribly because people have given them bad history. People I work with, I treat them like they are king, I treat them like they are royalty, but look at how some of them pay you back.
From the horse's own mouth, whether you are a saint or a sinner, if your workers decide to let you down, to sack you down, who are you? There is nothing you can do. The House, we Owaren's debate on 4 principles that volume is not evidence, quality is not velocity, read your people, not your script. We go for debate, not emotional expeditions, but it seems my opponents are finding it difficult to meet up to these principles. The House, ad nauseam and kettle logic arguments are the basis of my opponent's argument. They are here supporting their point with several arguments that are contradicting each other, repeating points over and over again just for us to support them. But the House is on Opoku Ware School's side. The House, dum spiro spelo. While I breathe, I hope, and no amount of fallacy nor deviation can suffocate me. The House, let us bear in mind that some bosses have bosses. The CEOs and managers that my opponent came here to talk about were hired by investors. So these bosses are actually workers themselves, meaning my opponents are also claiming that workers are the cause for businesses collapsing. This is total deviation. The House, My opponent said that, let us know this, that whatever rebuttal that my opponent will give will mount to supervision. And the House, no amount of digital supervision can surpass a man who was told his cerebellum, and medulla oblongata to steal. There is nothing you can do. No amount of supervision can change that. They also said that they came here to shift blames, to divide blames, that we are supposed to partly blame the Ghanaian workers and also partly the bosses. This is deviation as well. The House, they talked about mismanagement, but if a business has proper management, workers are not programmed computers. They still control their intentions and decide what to do. They also said they talked about the depreciation of the city. The House, we are here to do a comparative analysis between bosses and Ghanaian workers, where from these economic variables. Again, they talked about poor working environment, but my principal speaker made it clear in his argument that 86% of Ghanaian firms today are equipped with digital technology, but it is the workers that are recalcitrant. Thank you, the House.
How can you blame the hands that tilled the land when the farmer himself refused to bring the seeds? This is why I am against the motion, quotes and unquotes. Ghanaian workers should be blamed for the collapse of businesses. The chair, Akatachie, presented emotions stressed as evidence, and I am here to break the foundations of their arguments, brick by brick. The chair panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, Akatachie, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, good day. The name still remains Abugri Augustina Malbo, the supporting speaker from the land of Madrimma. As my principal speaker has already done most of the work, permits me to delve straight into my arguments. The chair, the House, point 6. Businesses operate in an economic environment that workers cannot control. The chairperson, businesses do not operate in isolation. They operate in an economic environment shaped by forces that ordinary workers neither create nor control. A business may have hard-working and competent employees and still collapse due to external forces, which includes inflation, taxation, the increase in the prices of goods and services, and change in government policy. The chair, when inflation rises, the prices of goods and services rises. Therefore, businesses may face a decline in profit margins even when their workers are competent and hardworking. Akatachie, if you were in Ghana, you would know that Dumso and the rise in utilities are enough demons to bring businesses to their knees. Akatachie, say Dumso. Do you know Dumso? If you were a business owner in this country, you will not think twice before fleeing from this motion. The chair, let's speak facts. The evidence I have says, and I quote, Ghana's Dumso crisis, blackouts plague homes and businesses, unquote. My opponents, did you hear me say employees plague homes and businesses? Think about it. The chair, the House, point 6. Most businesses collapse because they lack a succession plan. The chairperson, a succession plan is a strategy for ensuring that businesses continue to operate even after their founder or a key leader dies or becomes incapacitated. With this, even the president of Ghana agrees on that. From GhanaWeb.com, and I quote, why Ghanaian businesses collapse after their founders die, unquote. President Mahama explains. But the chair, we are not surprised. Most businesses in Ghana are overly dependent on their founders, and when they become unavailable, the foundations of the businesses become weak, like my opponent's arguments. To the chair, with this, let's not go far. Here in the Ashanti region, I provide 2 scary testimonies to back my claims. Today, the former City Hotel and Opoku Transport are no more. In fact, Opoku Transport is now a grass cutter hub. The chair, the founder of Owner Service, died not long ago. Yet, the company is a pale shadow of itself. We only pray that the same thing doesn't happen to the Suffolk and Tanka group of companies and the Keswin group of companies. The chair, the House, point 8. Inability of business owners to operate with principles, clear-cut rules and regulations can contribute to the collapse of businesses. Madam Chairperson, excuse me to say, Workers are like students. If they are not governed with rules and regulations, indiscipline and truancy becomes their hallmark. When the workers engage in evil acts and go unpunished, they do more and do worse. The chair, I present to you a principled Ghanaian businessman, Dr. Andrew.
Fireman, somebody has had it dismissed. I had a driver who worked with me for about 17 years. I traveled to Geneva for 3 months. When I came back, I saw that even though I was not here, the amount of fuel he was buying was not possible.
The numbers were funny.
It didn't make sense. How can you be buying the same fuel as if I am here?
I am very sure the driver took him for granted. This is a similar behavior with Ghanaian workers everywhere. And that is why they need principled leaders to deal with them accordingly. Still on the same point, any leader with no strong control mechanisms and effective supervision paves way for fraud, theft, and lapses in accountability. And in no time, a thriving business is no more. The bosses must correct the misconduct, not the other way around. Akateche, if a child goes wrong in society, we blame the parents. So why then should we blame the employees? The chair, the house, rebuttals. But first, can we project the video my opponents played?
If taking everything from my shop and run away. This is why when people grow up to somewhere, they become some.
I think that's enough. My opponents, please, where are your sources? Dr. Peter Atta clearly stated that he who asserts must prove. You showed us a video without a source. Today, anyone can go online and say just anything and go away with it. Now the chair, look at the motion. It stated collapse businesses, not affecting productivity. My opponents, you claim that businesses collapse because the Ghanaian worker is only productive when the supervisor is around. Do you mean your teachers only teach when the headmaster goes around? My opponents, if you must understand that there's a difference between collapsing and affecting productivity. Indiscipline in workplaces affects productivity, but if it collapses a business, it means the systems failed, the supervisors failed, the bosses failed, and therefore they must be blamed. You also asserted that businesses fail because of theft, dishonesty, fraud. This is a hasty generalization. My opponents, by what means were they recruited? A dishonest worker may steal, but a weak system ensures stealing survives in the company. You also asserted that poor customer services by Ghanaian workers causes the collapse of businesses. My opponents, bosses are supposed to ensure that there are systems for customer feedbacks. Don't you know that serious companies who have employed these systems have improved customer services and thrive very well? So your argument is just a clever excuse dressed in a cheap suit. My opponents also asserted that Ghanaian workers have no sense of ownership. My opponent, if an owner recruits an incompetent worker, who has the responsibility of firing them? It's obvious, the boss. They also claim that refusal to upgrade their system collapsed businesses. A competent boss must set clear rules and regulations and add penalties to ensure that workers are up to standard. My opponent, if their skills are not upgraded, the chair, the house, my submissions are clear.
The chairperson, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, adversaries, guests, ladies and gentlemen, I rise again in my capacity as the principal speaker to gather the debris of my opponent's arguments and re-establish a solid foundation for our case. We being for the motion, these were the points we raised. In point 1, we argued that businesses collapse because of theft and dishonesty of the Ghanaian worker. In point 2, we established that businesses collapse because the Ghanaian worker is only productive when the boss is around. Point 3 centered on poor customer service by Ghanaian workers as a cause of business collapsing. In point 5, we argued that business collapse because the Ghanaian worker refuses to upgrade their skills. In point 6, we argued that Ghanaian workers are to blame for the collapsing of businesses, not bosses, because of their strategic customer misdirection. In point 7, we made it clear that Ghanaian workforce are to blame for the collapsing of businesses because of the entitlement mentality they have towards work. And finally, in point 8, we proved to you that the boss's dilemma, the perfect leadership can't stop internal rot. And now, let me use this brief time to correct certain misconceptions my opponents left in the minds of the House. My opponent, you made a statement about bosses not giving their workers lack of training, skill, and development. Your skill is your own property and not your boss's duty to upgrade. You also made an assertion that you made a statement about nepotism. And the House, I want to assert to you that family relatives are still Ghanaian workers, and therefore nepotism proves our point. And then again, they came here to say that we use stretched emotions as evidence. Then I guess the House, we should consider the Bank of Ghana, Ghana Customer Service Delivery Index, Graphic Online, and the World Bank as emotional institutions. Then again, they said that businesses fail because bosses don't work on succession plans. How can a boss work on a succession plan if the Ghanaian workers collapse the business before he even dies? And they also made a quote about high inflation rates and depreciation. As we have said over and over again, we are making a comparative analysis between the boss and the Ghanaian worker, and therefore influential factors have no bearing, economic and external factors have no bearing on this case. The House, it is evident that throughout our argument, we have made our stance clear and we have upheld it, that it is still the Ghanaian workers' fault. An African adage says, you can bring a horse to the river, but you cannot force it to drink. The boss has brought his business to the river with capital, goods, and others. But the Ghanaian worker refuses to drink loyalty, honesty, and hard work. And this is not the fault of the boss. And no amount of emotions and loud speaking and reading can change that fact. We leave it to you, the House, to water with good judgment. Thank you.
Madam Chairperson, adjudication panel, all other protocols held on high prestige. My second mountain of this podium is not to talk much, but to give a decent summary of the cogent points my supporting speaker and I raised, and to debunk the fallacious assertions made by Akatechi. We argue that 1, mismanagement by some leaders of business entities is a major cause of business failure. Point 2, weak internal structures by some bosses can make a business vulnerable to unforeseen problems. Point 3, poor working environments can significantly lead to the collapse of businesses. Point 4, poor recruitment processes on the part of bosses contributes to the collapse of businesses. Point 5, lack of training and skill development contributes to the collapse of businesses. Point 6, businesses operate in an economic environment that workers cannot control. Point 7, most businesses collapse because they lack a succession plan. Point 8, and finally, inability of business owners to operate with principles, clear-cut rules and regulations can contribute to the collapse of businesses. The Chair, the House rebuttals. My opponents claim that we have deviated from the motion. Now let me prove to you how they rather have deviated from the motion. The motion says that Ghanaian workers are to blame for the collapse. The key word here is collapse of businesses. Their job here is to prove to us why Ghanaian workers are to blame for the collapse of businesses, not the actions of Ghanaian workers that contributes to negative productivity. My opponents said that we came here and then repeated our points over and over again. Meanwhile, they did that. Their first point by the supporting speaker says strategic customer misdirection is the reason why Ghanaian workers are supposed to be blamed. It is a repeated assertion. Competent bosses are supposed to provide avenues for customer feedback so that if a customer has a problem, they can communicate with the bosses. Also, they said that entitlement mentality towards work can lead to intentional negligence. But the question here is, who recruited these workers? It's the bosses. They conducted interviews and then they confined in the workers. So if they are negligent, why are they not fired? They also said that poor perceptions created about the boss by the Ghanaian worker causes business to collapse. Poor perceptions will be created about a boss if the boss is not competent. There is a saying that's leadership by example. If the boss fails in the beginning, automatically the workers are also going to fail. They said that no amount of supervision can stop a worker from stealing. My opponents, this is oversimplification. If theft cases are going on in a company and then you implement strategies to curb the thefts, why are you saying that no amount of supervision can curb a theft? My opponents, you have deviated. They said that we claiming that depreciation of the cedi causes business failure, we have deviated. But let me ask you, the workers that work in the public sector, who is their boss? The government. Because a boss is a person who exercises authority. This clearly shows that the government is the big boss. And we know that the depreciation of the cedi is caused by the government. So if it affects businesses, the government, who is the big boss, must be blamed. They said that our skill is our own property, but so it is not the duty of the boss to upgrade. Okay, if that is so, then why then the need for workshops for teachers organized by the government? What is the duty of the workshop? It is to upgrade the skills of the teachers. So upgrading skills is a work of the boss. The chair, the house. The proposition that Ghanaian workers are to blame for the collapse of businesses is not only a gross misrepresentation of reality, but an insult to the millions of hardworking Ghanaians who show up every day to keep this economy afloat. With this, the chair, I bow.
Well, I'm even short of words. I honestly, sincerely do not know what to say. This to me, and I'm saying on emphasis, to me, is the best debate I have listened to so far in this year's competition. It has really been revealing, it has really been educative, and it's really been informative. Please, let's all stand and put our hands together for these amazing young debaters from KNUST Senior High and also from Opoku Ware School. Please, put your hands together for them. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please take your seats. And this is just contest one at the quarterfinal stage of the 2026 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate, brought to you by Kel Chaco Toothpaste. And I'm certain that there's more fireworks coming up in contest 2, contest 3, and contest 4. Who will advance and book a ticket at the semifinal stage? We'll find out in a bit. But before we do, let me tell you a bit about Kel Chaco Toothpaste. Now, it's been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions with all the necessary protocols and approved by the FDA. Now, the constant use of Kel Chaco Toothpaste gives you fresh breath, whitens your teeth, reduces dental plaques, prevents cavities, and makes gum healthy and strong. Kel Chaco Toothpaste is recommended for adults and children from age 6. Get a pack at your local supermarket today. Now, it is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. Please call them on 0246-864-798 or 050-145-4462. Kel Chaco Toothpaste, happy smile. Let me also show some love and respect to Christian Service University. Now, for your information, they are admitting students for the 2026-2027 academic year. And for over 50 years, Christian Service University has been training ethical and visionary leaders who are making a difference in Ghana and beyond. Apply now for their undergraduate and postgraduate programs, including a flagship Doctor of Ministry in Christian Leadership and Management, gain holistic education grounded in Christian values with opportunities in scholarships, entrepreneurship, and employability for a better future. Locate Christian Service University at Star Junction, Santasi, or log on to www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU, it is the university of choice. Many thanks to Jackson University College. Now, they offer master's programs in English and Maths, education, guidance and counseling, and educational leadership, as well as administration. As we speak, they also offer a bachelor, post-diploma, and postgraduate programs in education. So you can sign up for their short IT courses in digital marketing, software engineering, cyber security, web development, data analytics, and of course, so much more programs there. Call Jackson University College right now for enquiries on 020-126-0290. Listen, I'm eager to hear what Becca will be sharing with us by way of comments on social media. It's not going to be now, but keep them coming. The first contest was between Opoku Ware School and KNUST Senior High. I want to hear from you. So on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever, TikTok, drop your comments there. But for now, Becca is dancing. Is any music playing in your head?
Oh, yes.
What music is that?
I'll let you in on it after the second contest.
Okay, so David, let's also say thank you to Vena Mineral Water, a quality product from Trillium Industrial Company Limited. Of course, get the 750 ml medium bottle today and stay hydrated without stress. The Vena Mineral Water, of course, is recommended by the Ghana Medical Association and also approved by the FDA. We also like to say thank you to Best Brain Publications Limited, and we know that every child with a bright future depends on the foundation laid for them at the basic level. And so if you're a school or a parent looking for quality NACA and GES approved English, Math, Science and Computing textbooks and more, then please contact Best Brain Publications today at Pankrono Kumasi. Best Brain Publications, securing tomorrow's academic well-being today.
We'd also like to say a very big thank you to JM Ado and Sons for bringing us Oneplex 400. We all know worms can affect our health, and therefore we need Oneplex 400 to help eliminate all kinds of worms in our body. Oneplex 400 is a sweet, easy to chew tablet and can be taken at any time of the day. It is suitable for children above 1 year, but breastfeeding and pregnant mothers must consult their physician first before taking any dewormer. Get Oneplex 400 at any pharmacy, and for bulk purchases you can contact JM Adel and Sons.
We say Ayiko to Amancia Community Bank PLC, and for over 40 years, 40 good years, this bank has been serving individuals, institutions, businesses, government and private sector workers with safe, secure, convenient banking solution that leads to financial independence and also growth. Now they operate every kind of account and give you the most affordable interest rate loans. Enjoy the digital banking services today by dialing *992#. Our newest branch is located at Mansuke Niago, and our headquarters is at Antwerp Chrome. Find our other branches at Manson Kwanta, Manswe Dubia, Mansu Datano, Bekwai, Anyang Kwanta, Akrokeri, Roman Hill, Asim, Ahonjo Atenga Junction, Santase, and also Sofo Line. Call Amasia Community Bank today on 0247 2000013, 0247 2000013. Amasia Community Bank PLC, your reliable financial partner. We also like to say thank you to St. Ben's Jewelry, and they're still giving us our wedding, engagement and promise rings today. Of course, made with quality, elegant, affordable white gold, yellow gold, rose gold and silver rings as well. Get your earrings, your bracelets, watches and all your accessories at St. Ben's Jewelry today. They'll also polish your old ornaments for you and offer flexible payment plans for you as well. Locate St. Ben's Jewelry today at Amakom right opposite Edward Nazo building, and also at Doom in the Chelsea House right opposite the Standard Chartered Bank. St. Ben's Jewelry, we say just dream it and it will be done.
Now we also say thank you to New Generation Investment Services NGIS, currently offering managed investments, assisting with pension planning and also managing tier 2 and tier 3 pensions. Secure your future with our Enidaswell Mutual Fund, NGIS Money Market Fund and private funds. You can also speak to any of our seasoned advisors about your investment goals and aspirations. NGIS is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. NGIS, we say, achieving excellent returns on your investments.
Now, parents and teachers, you don't need to worry any longer about the wards or about your ward's BEC results, because TAMA questions and answers textbooks has come to their rescue. It is packed with the current BEC past questions, answers, marking schemes, exam tips, and also strategies for all major subjects. TAMA questions and answers textbooks today will help boost the confidence level of your students, and it is available in Accra and Kumasi. Call TAMAC today on 053 876-9291, 053-876-9291. Now, the Sea Travels is also calling everybody to experience the wild beauty of Kenya and the glamour of Dubai from September 10th to September 16th, 2026. You can actually also join our China Canton Fair Business Expedition from October 26th to November 9th, 2026. The Sea Travels will handle your flight, hotel reservations, breakfast, visa support, airport transfers, tolls and tourism tax, all stress-free. Visit the Sea Travels today at Ahonjo Atenga Junction, right opposite the DHL office.
Write effortlessly with Simple Mystical Original Pen. It is engineered with perfection, and so you can enjoy smooth, precise, smudge-free lines every time you write. Get yours today in blue, black, or red. You can locate Simple products at Paul Sego Lane here in Kumasi and Okanshi, Accra. Call us now on 0264-885-117, 0264-885-117. Simple Mystical Original Pen, your #1 choice for premium writing.
Now, every parent wants a child who is responsible, confident, knowledgeable, and also grounded in godly values. And when you come to Broadview Christian Academy, we combine all of these with Christ-centered character development. Our carefully selected learning materials makes learning engaging and easy to understand. We also have a modern ICT lab with 24/7 internet, ultra-modern library, well-ventilated classrooms, dedicated teachers, and so much more who are ready to set your word for life. Locate Broadview Christian Academy today off the Kote Road, directly opposite the KNUST Business School gate. Call Broadview Christian Academy today on 0244-638299, 0244-638299. The Broadview, of course, Christian Academy, where godly character meets academic excellence.
We also say a very big thank you to Trillium Industrial Company Limited for bringing us Bigo. Everywhere make hot but still manful enjoy. For your parties, funerals, family day outs, and any social gathering, grab your favorite Bigo drink today. Bigo comes in cola, grape, orange, coconut, pineapple, lemon, and apple and cocktail flavors. This is another quality product from Trillium Industrial Company Limited, and you can get this in any supermarket near you or even in traffic. Bigo, we say big refreshing moments. And also a big thank you going out to Otua Sekai Community Bank, which has the right account for you: current savings, fixed deposits, Susu and infant savings accounts. Enjoy affordable salary, Susu business, funeral, group loans, and many more at very low interest rates. We also offer Western Union, eSwitch, iTrans, mobile money, and Ghana Pay services. You can locate Otua Sekai Community Bank at Kofiase, Mampong, Ejura, Sepebo Krum, Abofo, Makro, Nkinkenso, Swami Market, and Dr. Mensa. Otua Sekai Community Bank, your savior in community banking. We also say a very big thank you to Orion Cyrus Publications. From little learners in crèche to confident scholars in primary and JHS, Orion Cyrus Publications provide books that they need to succeed. In our colorful storybooks, engaging workbooks, and curriculum-approved textbooks make learning extremely fun, and it also improves academic performance. With books in English, math, science, history, coding, robotics, and more, we help children learn, grow, and excel. You can find us nationwide, or for more information, please call 0504-842-957, 0504-842-957. We also say a very big thank you to Franzaco's Company Limited for bringing us Rizo Gari. Now, from the heart of Ghana, Rizo Gari is made from carefully selected cassava, traditionally processed and hygienically prepared to deliver the authentic taste and quality that you can always trust. Rich, nourishing, and conveniently packed in easy to open, resealable pouches. Rizo Gari is perfect for the home, school, work, or as a quick and satisfying meal. We also have Enomansa fufu flour, cassava flour, Zimo cereal legume mix, cassava chips, and starch. Get these products nationwide, and for bulk purchases, contact Franzacos Limited now on 0244-462-152, 0244-462-152. We also say a very big thank you to Didi Shito. When I say Didi Shito, say homemade taste. Didi Shito. Didi Shito. David, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Becca. Please put your hands together for Becca. And earlier she was here together with Patricia Amabosu.
Okay, sure, David. Thank you so much. And we're so here at the Christian Service University, where we are having the Love FM Kelchako Toothpaste High Schools debate. And today, like I said, is the 4th day of August 2026, and today is the day that we start the quarterfinals competition. Yes, we've seen the debate between KNUST Senior High School and Opoku Ware School just gone by. When they are done, Senior High School is also going to face off with St. Louis Girls Senior High School. You know that we cannot do this debate without the help and the support, of course, of our proud sponsors. That is Samara Company Limited, proud producers of Kel Chaco Toothpaste, Kel Kids, and Kel 360, as well as Sasso insecticide spray, Roma insecticide spray, and of course Feco spray starch. Where if you see me in the shots, I'm looking sharp. The way my shirt is, if you put your hand there, it will cut you. Hello. And I have also with me here the marketing manager, of course, the sales and marketing manager for Samara Company Limited. In our shorts, he is in the person of Mr. Dennis Kwame Osei. And the beautiful thing is that he's been with us from the first day when we did the launch up to now that we are having the quarterfinals. And so I'm going to have a very quick engagement with him. And of course, when we're done, we're going to speak to also the school will be competing next. We are still live on Radio Love 99.5 FM, also on TV, Joy Prime, Joy Learning, and on social media. Kwame, you are welcome once again to the beautiful show here. That's the Love FM Kel Chaco Toothpaste High School's debate.
Thank you so much, Patricia.
I want to find out from you. You have been with us from day one. What's your impression so far?
Well, first of all, I would like to extend our warmest greetings to your lovely viewers and then listeners. Yes, so I might say that it's been one very impressive, it's been insightful, it's been very exciting as well. I would say that for all the schools that participated, I would say kudos to all of them. They've done extremely well. I must admit that they are all winners in their own regard. Whoever wins deserves it. But for me, nobody will be losing. Yes. Mm-hmm. So far, it's been very insightful, and very informative as well. There are a lot of things I have picked up personally. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So he's probably a quasi-judge, but he's only judging in his head. it's we can say that, right?
Precisely. I mean, I have my own opinion as well. Yes.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about Samara Company Limited. You do so well when it comes to youth development, of course, in terms of their health and all. Let's still look at the reason why you even decided to support the multimedia group on this particular journey.
Well, I'm looking at this particular platform, your high school's debate, is one that propels the youth, the young ones. It's a platform that nurtures good talents, brings out the best in the students. And as a company that deems that also as a priority, we decided to partner with you. I mean, to try and unearth this hidden talents in these young folks, yes, to bring out the very best in them. So it is no error, I would say, that we partnered Love FM to have this August event here.
Okay, and I know we have brought Kel Chaco Toothpaste, of course, on board this particular journey. What was that reason why we wanted to use Kel Chaco Toothpaste?
Well, it's quite simple. Debating has to do with speaking out loud and then in audience and all that. And then as an institution that also deals in toothpaste, the very best, of course, on the market, Kel Chaco Toothpaste, happy smile, say.
Happy smile.
Definitely. I mean, as producers of the very best charcoal toothpaste on the market, we decided to use Kel Chaco in the sense that we want the kids to be, confident and bold, exhibit their happy smiles boldly, fresh breath, as you might say, and all that. And we all know the good things that comes with. You've said a lot. I mean, I won't bother your listeners with all this, but we decided to use that, our toothpaste to support you. Though we have other products as well, but we decided to use Kel Chaco toothpaste. Yes.
Well, a bird whispered to me that you have something amazing you'll be doing for the 24 schools that came to the debate. Did you want to share that with the schools? Because I know they'll be very, very excited to hear that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I will just make it a brief. From the very onset, you realize that every day we've been giving samples to the students. Yes. The reason being that we also want to ensure or promote good oral hygiene. So as part of our corporate social responsibilities, after the entire debate on the 3rd, Samara is going to take it upon themselves to visit all the 24 schools.
Oh no, wait, is it going to be like a dental screening kind of thing, or you are just going there to do Father Christmas things?
Oh, if we're having a dental tour. Okay. So we're going to have free dental screening for all the students, and emphasis on all the students, I must say. And we are giving out 80 gram. Not a baby police 18 gram. No. We are giving 80 gram toothpaste to each and every student in all the 24 schools.
Let me repeat that. So all the 24 schools, you get to enjoy this dental screening tour from Kel Chaco Toothpaste. And when they come there, they are giving each student, everybody that you will be screened, 80 grams of the Kel Charcoal toothpaste. 80 grams of the Kel Charcoal toothpaste. So please, can you clap for Kel Charcoal toothpaste wherever you are? Hey, then some boy is small, please. Volume it. Hello. But for a distributor who is looking to sell Kel Charcoal toothpaste in their shops and all, where can they reach you? Where do they need to find you?
Okay, so Samara is Pan Ghana. It means we are scattered across the entire country. Our head office is in Accra, East Legon, Adringano, Plot 144, Sasso Street. In Kumasi, we are at Donkek, Masafo Donkek, right opposite the washing bill, like you always say. You can also reach us on 0246 864 798. I'll take that again. Sure. 0246 864 798.
Okay, so please don't miss the best, okay? It is Kel Charcoal toothpaste, and for the kids, it's Kel Kids, and of course, we also have Kel 360. And if you want to look sharp, in fact, the point is, if you are going for what do you call it? When you are going for an interview and you don't look sharp, they can even drop you. They will disqualify you. So make sure when you also go on the market, you are getting yourself Feco spray starch, also coming from Samara Company Limited. And if you want to have total protection from mosquitoes every night or every time of the day, then make sure you are getting yourself Roma insecticide spray or also Sasso insecticide spray, all from Samara Company Limited, where they believe that quality always comes first. And of course, remember, that is always Kel Charcoal toothpaste, and it gives you a happy smile. And also, all their products have been FDA approved. Sir, thank you so much for always being with us on this train. I want to put you on the spot. Which school do you want to win?
I would keep that for now.
Okay, so he actually said Kel Senior High School. Thank you so much, Kwame. Have a lovely day. And of course, let's now have our two schools that's going to be debating right now, also in the short. That is St. Louis Girls Senior High School and also Church of Christ Senior High School. The pace setters versus Ahotefo. Now, their motion is, quote, high rent in Ghana is caused by greed, not high building material cost, unquote. We have St. Louis Girls Senior High School going to argue for the motion, and Church of Christ Senior High School is going to argue against the motion. And so we just set a ball rolling and speak with this beautiful lady from St. Louis Girls Senior High School. Sweetheart, in 30 seconds, what would you want to say about the performance of St. Louis today?
My name is Ilia Kabiru, the WDS coordinator. All that I would like to tell Chrisek is that we are the pace setters, and we are here again to set the pace. They should bear in their minds that just because they kicked PC out of the contest doesn't mean they can do the same to us. Thank you.
Hey, very simple message. Sweetheart, you two tell me something.
Okay, so I'm Agnes Boatin, representing the student body of Church of Christ Senior High School. All I have to say is that we and losing, we both are in parallel lines. Yes, that's all that I have to say. It's not about too much talk.
Okay, it's not about too much talk, and I'm going to go to the patrons right now, Church of Christ Senior High School. You guys are on the same road, the Accra-Kumasi road. Who is going to see off the other?
We will give it to them today. So on our way to our school, we will go to St. Louis campus to eat their dining with them. Yes. My name is Desmond Osuntin from Church of Christ SHS. Our guys are poised for action. So we pray that the Lord should grant us victory, and we know that we are going to win. Thank you.
Are you sharing your dining hall food with them, your supper? Are you sharing it with them today?
This shows that they are going to lose because common dining, they can't afford, and they want to come and eat our dining. My name is Dijoy Amankwa, the WDS trainer. For this, I see it as a friendly debate because he's my brother, and we really click very well. But this contest is not just for friendly. We just kick them out and tell my brother, oh, sorry, you met a better side, so please pack yourself. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you met a better side. Let's say thank you to the Ghana Education Service, the Ashanti Regional Students Representative Council, the Conference of Heads of Assistant Senior High Schools, and Samara Company Limited, proud producers of Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. And remember, we are still live on Radio Love 99.5 FM, on TV, Joy Prime, Joy Learning, and on social media. The hashtag remains LUVFM HSD. David, please do your thing.
Well, thank you very much. But Patricia, if the joy is still with you, just tell the joy for me that sharing is caring. So if they should join them at their dining hall at St. Louis, at least they should be able to accommodate them. Well, with that out of the way, please put your hands together for yourselves. You've been such an amazing and wonderful audience. A while ago, we had a very first contest at the quarterfinal stage. It was between, of course, two great schools, Opoku Ware School and KNUST Senior High School. The beautiful thing is this: from this very stage, any school that advances to the next stage of the competition, you automatically become a seeded school. So when the 2027 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate comes your way, you will not partake in the zonal stage, you will not partake in the preliminary stage, you go straight to the main competition. So there's a lot at stake. Have that at the back of your minds. With that out of the way, on behalf of the multimedia group, we welcome you to the second contest of the day. That is to say, the quarterfinal stage here at the Christian Service University. And like Patricia Amabos said a while ago, we're doing this in collaboration with the Ashanti Regional SRC, the Ashanti Regional GES, and of course, the Conference of Heads of our sister secondary schools, that is CHAS, and of course, the Christian Service University. Please put your hands together for all these institutions for partnering us to bring to you the 2026 edition of the Love FM High Schools Debate, brought to you by Kale Chako. For those of you who are listening to us for the very first time, you're wondering what it is all about. It's all about the Love FM High Schools Debate. This is the 8th edition. We are in the quarterfinal stage. The very first edition was won by Tiama Senior High School. The second edition was won by St. Jerome Senior High School. The third was won by St. Monica Senior High School. Then we had Kumasi High School come through for the fourth. Prempeh College took the fifth. Kumasi High School took the sixth. Prempeh College took the seventh. They were the defending champions. Unfortunately, they have been eliminated. Today, we get to see which other school will be advancing to the next stage of the competition. Like I said, that will be for the semifinals. With that out of the way, our title sponsor is in Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. They say Happy Smile. It's from Samara Company Limited. Please put your hands together for them. And they told you that they'll be visiting all the 24 schools. We'll be giving you some free dental, screening, and giving you the 80 gram of toothpaste from Samara. That, of course, is a Kel Charcoal. I use it, and I'm proud to be a user of that product. It's beautiful. The mini ones that you are given, try it, and you get to appreciate what it is I'm talking about. The Digital Homemade Taste, we say thank you very much. Best Brain Publications is also a sponsor. Christian Service University, Oneplex 400, Jackson University College, New Generation Investment Services Limited, Amasia Community Bank PLC, Seppa Musical Pen, Bigo and Vena Mineral Water from Trillium Industrial Company Limited, Otuasican Community Bank, Tama Questions and Answers Textbooks, Rayon Cyrus Publications, St. Ben Jewelry, The Sea Travels, Franzacos Limited, and Broadview Christian Academy are all sponsors. Please show them some love for me. Please put your hands together. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, you know that we are live on television on Joy Prime and Joy Learning. We are also being watched by a large number of people on TikTok, on Facebook, and also on YouTube. We have audiences on radio on Love 99.5 as well. The second contest for the day will be between St. Louis Senior High School and Church of Christ. Now, the motion is high rent in Ghana is caused by greed, not high building material cost. St. Louis, they are for the motion, and Church of Christ are against the motion. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the chairperson. She is in the person of Mrs. Theodosia Wilhelmina Jackson. Now, she is an educationist, a youth and marriage counselor, a preacher, a mentor, and a philanthropist. Now, she has counseled the youth and students since 1978. She is a renowned marriage counselor. As an educationist, she has over 55 years of experience both in Ghana and abroad. Now, she is a former assistant headmistress of Kumasi High School and also headmistress of KNUST Junior High School from 1992 to the year 2008. Now, she is a co-founder and the principal of Jackson University College, which offers a one-year postgraduate diploma in education, master's and MPhil in maths, English, guidance and counseling, educational leadership, as well as administration, not forgetting B.Ed programs. Now, in partnership with NIIT India, they offer many technology programs. Her passion is to instill moral training to the youth in order to transform society. Now, she is married to Professor Benazir Sefoa Jackson, and by the grace of God, they've got 4 amazing adult children, Daniel, Emmanuel, Nora, and Ebenezer. Please show her some love. The chairperson for the Love FM High Schools Debate, one more time, Mrs. Theodosia Wilhelmina Jackson. Now, our judge is already seated. They were seated for the first contest. They're still here with us for the second contest of the day. Let me introduce to you Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Akosia Andrews. She is an educationist. She's been in that business for 26 years and counting. She joins us this afternoon as one of our judges. Please put your hands together for Dr. Mrs. Beatrice Akosia Andrews. Well, another judge with us this afternoon is Reverend Joseph Janvible. Now, he is with the Theology Department at the Christian Service University. He's been in that department for God knows how long, for several years. Please, Reverend Janvible is one of our judges as well. And the lead judge, always looking pensive. Well, his name is Dr. Peter Arthur. Now, he's a senior lecturer and a former head of the Department of English at KNUST. Former head of Department of Language and Communication Sciences, KNUST, and a textual analyst. Ladies and gentlemen, please show Piero some love for me. Put your hands together for Piero. Well, I'm going to give him 2 or 3 minutes to run us through the rules of engagement and how, as judges, they score. He has 2 minutes to do that presentation. Please put your hands together one more time for him as we welcome him to the podium to address us all with the rules of engagement and how, as judges, they score.
Thank you, Dave. Madam Chair, as usual, with your permission, I break down the rules of engagement. My dear students, we have 5 parameters. Please pay attention. Organization and clarity, and then arguments and development, effective use of rebuttal, presentation style, and the role as a particular debater. Organization and clarity. You raise well-researched points. Now, there is something we call the judge's dilemma. You raise a point, you support it with relevant materials. Sometimes what happens is that the point is not good, but the materials are relevant to the topic. Sometimes the point is good and the materials are not relevant to the topic. This is what we call the judge's dilemma. Avoid that. It will cost you. The first speaker is having 15 marks for that, and the second speaker is taking 10 marks for that, and then for the summary, we have 5 marks. Arguments and development. I said it earlier. We are moving up. Therefore, your logical progression, you are there. You are doing very well. But that is to convince, and you convince people, you convince them, appeal to the head, thinking. Now, we are adding the heart, and that is what we call persuasion. Your ability to create enough emotional appeal is also part of speaking. You are a preacher, you are a lawyer, you are who? Whenever you speak, it's not only the head we speak to. So you combine all that. When it comes to emotion, we have fears. We have values, we have beliefs of group of people. You take advantage of that and you use it to justify the reason we should not follow the other person. Now, the first speaker is taking 15 points for that, and the second speaker is taking, 15 marks for that, and then the second speaker is taking 10 marks, and then the summary, we have 5 marks. Effective use of rebuttal, you know the deal already. You listen to the person and the person makes any mistake. You come here and you prove that what you are saying is not the right thing. This is the right thing. You can come up with the naming and all that. We like that. The first speaker is taking 5 marks. And listen, you see that the first speaker of the pro side, when he comes, there is nobody. So we have what we call preemptive rebuttal. Should be able to imagine that it's likely this person is going to say this or say that. Now, we have only 5 marks for that. Take note of that. Good. And then the second speaker, of course, somebody has, the first speaker for the against, somebody has already spoken, so you have something to stand on already. 5 marks for the first speaker, 10 marks for the second speaker, because he or she is the one who used to come and do the rebuttals. So we will pick everything. Mind you, this section, we can't give you more than 15. So you can keep on rebutting and rebutting and rebutting. We only have 15 marks for that. Presentation style. Your body language, as we keep saying, this morning we've witnessed some wonderful performance. It's got to do with your eyes, your facial expression. the way you engage your listeners, your gesticulations, your movement, and all that. Look, they are all body language, okay? And then your verbal language. Yeah, some of you are doing very well. But sometimes your pronunciation, now that word, it's depth. We don't say depth. Depth. You keep on saying depth. It's depth. Yeah? D-E-B-T. The B is silent. So learn how to pronounce some of these words. Okay. The first speaker is taking 8 marks for that. And then the second speaker is taking 5 marks. And then for the summary, 2 marks. Role as a particular debater. If you're a first speaker, make sure you speak potently, powerfully, and let everybody know that you are the first speaker. The second speaker is only a supporting speaker. But mind you, it takes 2 to win. So it doesn't mean that you, the second speaker, you just come and do anything. No, you are being marked. So perform very well. Now let's get to the rules. What are the rules saying? Says that the principal speaker on the affirmative team presents argument in support of the motion, and that is taking 10 minutes. And the principal speaker on the opposing team presents argument opposing the resolution, that is also taking 10 minutes. And then the second speaker on the affirmative team presents further argument in support of the resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and answers questions that may have been raised by the opposition speaker. That is 7 minutes. Then the second speaker on the opposing team presents further arguments against resolution, identifies areas of conflict, and answers questions that may have been raised by the previous affirmative speaker. This time, 7 minutes. Then the principal speaker on the affirmative team comes along with closing statements to their argument without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals if necessary. 5 minutes for that. And then the principal speaker on the opposing team comes with closing statement to their argument without adding any new information, and also uses the opportunity to respond to rebuttals if necessary. That is also 5 minutes for that. Now, you should note that if you're a speaker, you should speak audibly because we are listening. And you cannot interrupt anybody while the person is on the floor. Wait. When it gets your turn, then you come and deliver. Let's watch this. The principal speaker is raising 5 points. And then the supporting speaker is raising 3 points. What does that mean? Introduction, 1 point. So you see that every point is just about 3 marks. Introduction, 1. Explanation, 2. And other details, 2. And then the support, 3. If you do it well, you get all the marks. But if you mix them up, then it becomes a problem. Let's listen to some other rules. He who asserts, you now know it. And in order to establish an assertion, the team must support it with enough facts and evidence. Facts and evidence must be accurate. Examples or visual materials are permissible, and once introduced, they become available for the opponent's use as well. Tangible evidence must be tendered as exhibits to support facts. And then in rebuttals, note this. The debater rebutting may ask any constructive and clear question that has a direct bearing on the point raised. And the one rebutting must confine him or herself to questions, not to make any statements, comments, or ask any rhetorical question. Supporters from both sides are to exercise discipline so that you do not induce, frustrate, or intimidate your opponents. And mind you, if you do that, marks will be deducted. On the issue of time, while you are speaking, the bell may go. And when the bell goes, you go. That means you stop and go and take your seat. If you do not follow that, marks will be deducted. And then in the event of a tie, 2 schools involved will be given a motion to debate within 24 hours. Now let's watch this. The score of one judge, no matter how huge it is, cannot overturn the score of the other 2 judges. And because of that, we either have what we call a majority decision from judges, meaning 2 judges scored for a school, and then the unanimous decision. And this time, all the 3 judges scored for the school. Now, maybe you have a problem. Don't worry. I'm not talking about pecuniary. I'm not talking about money or anything. A problem that has got to do with this program. Kindly see the gentleman on my left. He will sort you out. And the reporting time still remains 12:30. If you come after that, you'll be disqualified. And on that note, Mr. MC, I think my job is done.
And indeed, you did a very great one, because you gave a direct distinction and you were clear on what issues they should bring to me. Please, one more time, show Dr. Peter Arthur some love. For those of you watching us on home on Joy Prime or Joy Learning, for those of you watching us on our socials, on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, why don't you send a message to a friend of yours or a colleague of yours and say, listen, the battle is about to begin. It's a battle between St. Louis Senior High School and Church of Christ Senior High School at the quarterfinal stage of the 2026 edition of the Love FM Charcoal Toothpaste High Schools debate. The motion is high rent in Ghana is caused by greed, not high building material cost. St. Louis, they are for the motion, and Church of Christ are against the motion. So let me go to St. Louis, ask them to stand, ask them to sing the school anthem, and then we invite the debaters. We'll be doing the same for Church of Christ. St. Louis. St. Louis. St. Louis. Ladies, please stand. These are ladies from St. Louis Senior High School. Just like any of the other schools that have been part of the Love FM High Schools debate, they have a school anthem. Now, last year they did very well. They went to the semis, and so therefore they were seeded for the 2026 edition. Will they be seeded one more time or not? Ladies, are you ready to sing your school anthem? They say they are. Francis, if you're ready, please help them sing their school anthem on 3. 1, 2, go.
Sing to noon, we shall be one. Beyond the fields, the will of God. Setting the pace is our hallmark. I am proud to be in St. Louis Senior High School. Sing to noon, we shall be one. The will of God, setting the paces on. I am proud to be in St. Louis Senior High School. The integrity of the nation depends on us. Posterity depends on us. St. Louis, please set us the most. We shall always be the first among equals.
They shall be the first among equals. Please put your hands together for your own selves. You sang your school anthem beautifully. Keep clapping as we welcome your debaters. Praises. Sewa Owusu Ansa is the principal speaker, supported by Nana Ekia and Frakoma Owusu. And if you don't mind, make some noise as we welcome them. All right, so there they are. Listen, each school and the way they mount the podium and grab their seats. Some walk hand in hand, others walk, together, or some others walk apart and all that. Please take your seats for me. And welcome, ladies from St. Louis. Let's go to the Church of Christ Senior High School. Chrisek. Some hotel there. When I stand for me. And you're also standing now because it's your turn to sing for us your school anthem. And I'm certain that all of you, both the males and the females, or the boys and the girls, know how to sing your school anthem. Please, are you ready to sing? Yes. You sure you are? Yes. Francis, are you ready for them? He says he is. So on 3, you do sing for us by singing for us your school anthem. 1, 2, 3.
Arise, 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 recite students. Arise, raise the status of the school. Arise, 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 recite students. Arise, raise the status of the school. True excellence, nothing but the best, will help us to achieve our majority. So arise, 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 and raise the status of your mother's womb. So arise, arise, and raise the status of your mother's womb.
Well, thank you very much for singing for us your school anthem. I can see some of you want to clap. Feel free, clap. Put your hands together for yourselves. And whilst you're clapping, let's welcome your debaters, led by Theophilus Entry, the principal speaker, supported by Dorcas Mason. And they are from Chrisek, Church of Christ Senior High School. So once they join us now, you are very much aware that the motion on the table on board is high rent in Ghana is caused by greed, not high building material cost. Thank you very much, students from Chrisek, that is Church of Christ. Madam Chairperson, we have your blessing to commence. She says yes. Accurate timekeeper, are you ready? They know the drill already. They were here with us a while ago. So the battle is just about to begin. For those of you watching us on television, you're about to be entertained and educated and informed. For those of you watching us on our socials, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, why don't let's get interactive. Becca is still ready to read from you. So drop all the comments down on our socials. For those of you listening to us on Radio Love 99.5, the battle is just about to begin. We go to St. Louis Senior High School and welcome the principal speaker, Praises Sewa Owusu Ansa. Praises, come start the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the image on the screen. We see two traders operating within the same market with similar shops. Trader A pays substantially more than Trader B simply because there's an intermediary involved. That is not a hypothetical situation. In May 2026, research by the Business and Financial Times found that traders who got their shops through agents in Medina were paying almost double what those who got their shops directly paid. Now the question is, the shop A suddenly contained twice the amount of building materials. Certainly no. What changed here is the human element in the pricing chain, and that is precisely where the proposition begins our claim. We agree that building materials are expensive, but they can never explain why tenants are charged outrageous and sometimes unreasonable amounts just for rent. My opponent, if building materials were the main cause of high rent in Ghana, then why do rents still remain excessively high even when the cost of construction reduces? Think about this. The chair, impartial panel of judges, agree
great timekeeper. Hi, I would say for ladies and gentlemen, representing St. Louis Senior High School, I am Praises Sewa Owusu Ansa, the principal speaker in full support of the motion, quote and unquote. High rent in Ghana is caused by greed, not high building material cost. The chair, for proper organization and clarity, allow me to unbox the motion. According to Ghana Statistical Service, high rent refers to rent that is excessively expensive or unaffordable for tenants. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines greed as an excessive or selfish demand for more of something, such as money, than is needed. The phrase high building material cost refers to the excessive prices of materials that are needed to maintain or construct a house. This motion in its naked form means that the reason why rent is so expensive in Ghana is because some landlords, property owners, and some building material dealers want to make excessive profit, not because of the rather than the cost of building materials, which we vehemently rise to support. Now to our first point, the chair. Excessive rent advance reveals the greedy motive behind Ghana's rent crisis. Impartial panel of judges, here is the hard truth. Ghana already has the Rent Act 1963, Act 220, and it clearly controls how much landlords can charge. Section 25 tells us that it is an offense to charge too much just for rent. Section 20 also goes further to tell us that landlords are supposed to provide rent cards showing the correct amount. This law also limits the advance that landlords can demand from their tenants. But what do we see today? Some tenants are charged for 2 years or even more instead of the 6 months that is generally accepted by the law. One Ghanaian landlord formally accepted that he knew the law but still went on to demand for 2 years rent in advance simply because, in his own words, I quote and unquote, I needed the money. This right there tells it all. The pursuit for money does not mean that the building materials became more expensive. The house, we agree that inflation and genuine maintenance can justify fair increase, but mind you, maintenance is never an excuse to continue to keep hiking rents forever. Point 2, the chair. Agents' practices prove that high rents in Ghana is inflated by human greed, not simply by building material costs. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be very, very honest here. If the cost of cement and blocks were the main reasons why rents are so high in Ghana, then agents can never have the ability to make accommodation more expensive. But here we are, paying through our noses while people sit comfortably there to count their gain. The truth is, high rents in Ghana is not just because of building costs. Greedy people and unchecked agents also push the prices up. In November 2025, Ghana's Rent Control Department said on Channel 1 News that some agents and landlords work together to raise rent. Some agents even tell landlords to demand for 2 years rent in advance, even though the law restricts it to just 6 months. Let me give you a clear example here. If a 2 years rent goes up from 20,000 Ghana cedis to 30,000 Ghana cedis, an agent who gets 10% gets an extra 1,000 Ghana cedis right from the pocket of the tenant, and the tenant will have to pay an extra right from the pocket of the tenant at the expense of the tenant. Point 3, the chair. The practice of charging rent in US dollars proves that high rent in Ghana is driven by landlords' profit motives, not just the cost of building materials. Ladies and gentlemen, if expensive building materials were the main cause of high rent in Ghana, then why are tenants in Ghana who gain their income in Ghanaian cedis asked to pay their rent in US dollars? The chair. Charging rent in US dollars shifts the risk of depreciation away from the landlord onto the tenant. Let me break this down. Let's say Theophilus pays a monthly rent of $500 at an exchange rate of 11 cedis. 10% is to $1. The $500 becomes 5,500 Ghana cedis. But if the cedi falls to 15 cedis is to $1, the 5,500 Ghana cedis becomes a whooping 7,500 Ghana cedis. And our dear Theophilus here would have to pay an extra 1,950 Ghana cedis, even though the house, the building, or the services have not changed at all. So the question here is, what exactly caused the increase here? You guessed it right. It is pure human greed, spelled in capital letters, just in suit and tie. Point 4, the chair. The Rent Commissioner's intervention exposes how landlord greed can turn scarcity into profit. Ladies and gentlemen, the recent intervention by the rent commissioner in private hostels tells us that some landlords can take advantage of the limited spaces available to students and charge them excessively high rent prices. The rent control department is currently scrutinizing some hostel facilities and their prices because high rents in Ghana cannot simply be blamed on the cost of cement and blocks. Now, let's listen to what Mr. Frederick Opoku, the acting rent commissioner in Ghana, has to tell us.
So, if we went to the Pence hostel, in fact, it was outrageous. And can you imagine one in a room with AC is paying 24,000 Ghana cedis per semester? It ranges to 39,000 Ghana cedis.
That's for the one in a room.
One in a room.
39,000 Ghana cedis just for a single room. My opponent, why? Is the room being built new every single day, or are new blocks added to the room every single day? You might want to come and explain to us. The chair, the house, we agree that hostel owners deserve a profit. Hostel owners deserve their profit from their investment. However, making a fair profit does not mean that making a fair profit does not mean taking advantage of students just because of their desperateness. Lastly, the chair, excessive profit seeking by building material dealers can also drive up rent in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, the greed behind Ghana's rent crisis can also be attributed to some building material dealers. We accept that cement, iron rods, transport and other inputs have genuine costs. However, the final selling price can also reflect human pricing decisions. In July 2025, the Minister for Roads and Highways publicly criticized cement dealers and producers for raising the rent of cement up to 120 Ghana cedis per bag and said that they had absolutely no reason to raise the price that high given economic conditions, and therefore urged them to reduce the price to 95 Ghana cedis per bag. Panel, when the building material dealers take more than they are expected to take, that extra burden can be transferred from the supplier to the developer, from the developer to the landlord, and ultimately to the tenant. And when excessive profit is added at every single stage until the poorest tenant pays the final bill, that is not merely economics, that is greed piles down the chain. The chair, before I take my seat, I leave these questions to my opponent. 1. If building materials determine rent, why can similar spaces attract substantially different rent? And 2, my opponent, I want you to show this house an empirical evidence in Ghana which proves that where building materials are cheaper, the cost of rent is also lower. The chair, I know my opponents will mount this podium and come and lie to our faces that building materials are genuinely expensive. This is oversimplification because evidence shows us that key construction costs have decreased since January 2026. If building materials were the main driver of rent, then rent should have fallen accordingly. Yet rent still continue to rise and remain high, showing a disconnect directed at greed. My opponents will also mount this podium and come and tell us that Ghana's housing deficit causes high rent and not greed. The chair, this is a false dichotomy because the housing deficit explains why landlords have power. It does not explain why they misuse the power and charge high rents. Scarcity creates the opportunity, but greed exploits the opportunity. The chair, the house. I resume my seat. Thank you.
Doctor, let us bring this debate to real life. Imagine you want to build a house today. Before collecting a single cedi in rent, you must pay for land, pay for worker, obtain permit, and cover professional maintenance costs. If all these costs keep rising, can we honestly say that it has nothing to do with rent? Certainly not. Why are we saying that? Because a house has a cost before it has a rent. Honorable Chairperson, distinguished judges, accurate timekeeper, worthy opponent, ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all. My name is Tiflos Entry, representing Church of Christ Senior High School, and the principal speaker against the motion before the house that, quote, high rent in Ghana is caused by greed, not by high building material cost. Panel, before I proceed with my argument, permit me to explain some key terms used in the motion and when necessary. Credible evidence and verifiable fact will be attached to back our claims. According to Merriam-Webster, rent is the money paid in return to use an apartment or a house. According to Cambridge Dictionary, greed is a strong desire to continuously get more of something, especially food and money. According to warehouseghana.com, building materials are products for construction purposes, especially blocks, cement, and so many. So, the motion in the simplest form is that high rent in Ghana is caused by landlord's greediness, not by high building cost, which is why we have a strong, solid point to debunk the said motion. Now, our first argument is that rent begins with the cost of producing a house, not simply a landlord's greed. The house, before a landlord can collect a single cedi in rent, he must acquire a land and construct a building, and both have become increasingly expensive. Ghana's Ministry of Works and Housing, in its 2024 housing profile, recorded land prices ranges from 40,000 Ghana cedis to 2 million Ghana cedis in Accra, and 25,000 Ghana cedis to 1 million Ghana cedis in Kumasi, depending on the location and the available services. The same report also explains that serviced areas command higher land prices. Then comes to construction. Ghana Statistical Service reported that in September 2024, the overall cost of building had risen 20.7% year on year, with materials increasing by 20.3%. By June 2026, Ghana Statistical Service recorded building cost inflation of 3.1%, while building materials rose to 3.9%, accounting for 76.5% of the index. So imagine a landlord who pays heavily for a land and spent even more to construct a house. When the cost of producing that property rises, the amount that must eventually come or recover through rent also rises. I know my pay status may say, but the landlord can simply, reduce the profit. Yes, he can, but the reduction of that profit cannot make that underlying cost disappear. A landlord can choose his profit margin, but he cannot change the price of the land already been purchased and the price of the materials already been used. Therefore, a house has a cost before it has a rent. To blame Ghana's rental crisis primarily on greed is to ignore economic change that comes before profit. As a result, when the cost of producing housing rises, the economic foundation upon which rent is built rises with it. Point 2, rent reflects the cost of creating and maintaining property, not simply landlord's profit. Panel, when a landlord uses 1 million Ghana cedis to construct a house, that investment is not recovered from one tenant. No, it is recovered gradually, tenant after tenant, while the landlord continues spending money to keep the property functional. The house, consider this: a landlord constructs a house for 1 million Ghana cedis. After 3 years, only part of that investment is recovered. The tenant leaves, and before another tenant enters, the landlord may spend thousands of cedis repairing, repainting, and replacing damaged fitting. Meanwhile, the city may have depreciated, making materials more expensive than 3 years earlier. This is especially important because Ghana's housing research indicates that about 90% of building materials are being imported in Ghana, exposing housing costs to exchange rate fluctuations and international prices. Therefore, the landlord faces two financial realities. One, the original investment is still being recovered. And two, the cost of maintaining that property continues to rise. The deeper pressure comes from the cost of creating, financing, and continuously maintaining housing, and not landlord's greed. Therefore, the motion wrongly identifies greed as the primary cause of Ghana's high rent. Snap for landlords. Our third argument is that greed cannot explain market consistency. Panel, if landlords across Ghana independently set rent, yet similar properties within the same area fall comparable prices ranges, yes, doctor, it means that something beyond individual greed influences those prices. Consider two similar apartments within the same neighborhood. If one landlord charges 2,000 Ghana cedis and another one charges 1,000 Ghana cedis, my pay setters, which one will you choose? Which one will you choose? If there's one empire there for, you will choose the cheaper one. Yes, this shows that landlords can simply charge whatever they want. They must consider market prices and what the tenants are willing to pay. A study involving 130 real estate professionals and stakeholders found that construction cost, financial condition, government policies, macroeconomic condition, property characteristics, and population changes collectively explain 62.9% of variation in residential property prices. What does this tell us? It tells us that landlords across Ghana faces economic pressure. Landlords across Ghana do not have WhatsApp group. No. They do not gather together to become greed. No. They are responding to the same market environment. Greed may explain why landlord overcharges, but it cannot explain the widespread upward pressure across the market. This moves me to my fourth argument. High housing costs restrict supply and raise rent. The house. When constructing houses or hostel becomes expensive, fewer developers can afford to build, while existing developers become cautious about expanding. Yet, people still need accommodation. Therefore, more people compete for fewer available rooms. I know my economic students are here, right? Right. Including my pay setters. And this is the law of demand and supply. When supply decreases, while demand remains constant or increases, the cost tend to rise. Ghana's housing situation proves this shortage. The World Bank estimates Ghana's housing deficit at about 2 million units and warns it could be more harmful by 2030 if current constraints persist. The IMF similarly estimates 2 million unit deficit and identifies financing constraints and weaknesses in the housing delivery system as barriers to construction. Now the house. Imagine 10,000 students competing for 6,000 rooms. Just imagine. Those limited rooms becomes valuable. And what do you expect? High and greater pricing power from the landlord. The pay setter may simply say that the landlord is simply a landlord's greed. No! Scarcity creates the environment in which power pricing exists. If construction were available for people for supply to rapidly increase, tenants would have made more choices and landlord will face greater pressure to reduce prices. Therefore, the chain is clear. Please kindly follow me. This is a chain. High production costs restrict supply. Restricted supply creates scarcity. Scarcity increases competition, and competition pushes rent upward. Therefore, to blame Ghana's rental crisis primarily on greed is an absolutely no statement. This moves me to my last argument. Cost of making land habitable and providing essential infrastructure raises housing costs. The house. The cost of producing housing in Ghana goes far beyond cement, iron rod, and labor. Landlords are often forced to pay for infrastructure before the house becomes usable. A house without electricity, drainage, and water is not truly a house that people can occupy. Yes. Therefore, before many landlords can rent out a property, they must first make the area habitable. This is showed by UN Habitat Ghana Housing Profile. Further estimates the infrastructure alone can account for between 10% and 30% of the total cost of a dwelling. Therefore, to blame Ghana's rental crisis primarily on greed is a hasty generalization fallacy. Now, to my opponent's argument. My impeditors agree that materials are expensive. But the house, that is a circular reasoning fallacy. They are using the same motion to debunk and deviate their same point. Also, they raise that advance rent means the landlord is greedy. Advance rent does not automatically mean exploitation. Landlords may require it to protect themselves from unpaid rent and financial losses. The problem is not advance rent itself, but when the amount becomes unfair or excessive. Therefore, advance rent alone cannot prove exploitation. A question I would like to pose to my opponent. Why do landlords face massive losses when inflation outpaces their rental returns if advance rent is pure greed? Also, they claim that rent increases exceed inflation. But house, this is a false cost fallacy. Even if some rent increases exceed inflation, that does not prove greed caused them. Inflation is only one cost: replacement cost, taxes, and financing cost. This shows that multiple factors other inflation are affecting housing. We have no idea of who controls inflation. As our supporting speaker from KNUST SHS said, when inflation rises, the price also rises. Therefore, this is a false cost fallacy. Thank you.
Let us face reality. Cement may build a house,
iron rods may strengthen the walls, but it is greed that can inflate the price beyond reason. Today, we are not here to debate whether building materials are expensive. No, but rather, we are here to debate whether those costs give landlords the right to squeeze a tenant dry. And our answer is a resounding no. We stand for the motion that high rent in Ghana is caused by greed, not high building material costs. To you, the ever-wise chair, impartial panel of adjudicators, on-point timekeeper, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. From the land of the pay setters, St. Louis Senior High School, I am Nana Ekia Afrakuma Owusu, a bold and eloquent supporting speaker, rising in full support of the motion. Quote and unquote, high rent in Ghana is caused by greed, not high building material costs. The chair, for clear argument and development, I would like to add up to the tangible point raised by my eloquent principal speaker and rebut on any fallacies of high building material costs raised by our opponents. Now, to my 6 points, the chair, the house, high rent in Ghana is driven by profit maximization, not simply rising building costs. Panel, if high rents were determined by the cost of building materials, then rent should be in the same direction as those construction costs. When construction cost eases, rent should eventually ease, yet this downward adjustment is rarely seen. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the building cost inflation fell sharply from 18.1% in June 2025 to 3.1% in June 2026. Also, the construction cost on month reduced to 0.1% in June 2026 as compared to 1.4% in May 2026. Additionally, the year-on-year labor inflation fell to negative 2.6%. The chair, the house, this shows that construction cost has reduced significantly, but you know the problem. Here is the problem. When rent increases, when cost increases, rent increases. But when cost decreases, where is the corresponding reduction in rent? A landlord may reasonably increase rent when maintenance, financing, or operating cost increases. But when these decreases and rent still remains high, it suggests that landlords are charging based on what tenants are willing or forced to pay, not actual building materials. Do you know the issue? The issue is not building materials and never will be building materials. The issue is the desire to maximize profits, and this brings about greed. Now, to my 7th point, the chair, we assert that rent is higher in high demand locations even when the building materials are the same. Panel, a study on the residential rental prices at the Accra metropolitan area using data from 3 different locations found that location, amenities, number of bedrooms, and facilities affect rent. Ghana's 2024 housing profile gives a clear evidence on that. A one-bedroom house costs about 350 cedis to 650 cedis in Accra, 250 cedis to 500 cedis in Kumasi, and 100 cedis to 200 cedis in Sunyani. Ladies and gentlemen, let's consider this logic. The same cement, the same iron rods, and the same roofing materials, yet rent varies dramatically by location. And that is because landlords charge according to location, demand, and what tenants can afford, not construction costs. Yes, we accept that demand, location, and amenities affect rent, but when landlords we accept that location, demand, and amenities affect rent, but when landlord exploits limited tenant choice in high demand areas, pushing rent beyond a reasonable level for excessive profits, that is greed. The chair, the house, I repeat, that is greed. Now, to my last point, when landlords shift risk to tenants but keeps profits, high rent becomes exploitation rather than a simple reflection of building costs. Ladies and gentlemen, when construction cost rises, tenants are expected to pay higher rent. When landlord needs capital, tenants are also expected to pay years of rent in advance. And when landlords fear default, tenants again bears the burden. Research in Aswansi found that some landlords use advanced rent to finance other investments. One landlord stated that taking 3 years rent upfront provided enough capital for investment. Researchers concluded that this practice effectively shifts the financial burden from landlords to tenants. Yes, obviously, the landlord keeps the property, benefits from its appreciation, and continues to earn future rental income, while the tenant is made a cash cow, squeezed to finance the landlord's cash needs and investment risk. My opponent, we accept that landlord's right to protect his investment and earn a reasonable return. But when we excessively shift financial risk to a tenant while retaining to assets and profit, it becomes excessive profit maximization. My opponent said in their 5th point that landlords are required to pay utility costs. We accept that landlords face legitimate expenses, taxes, utilities, and maintenance all cost money, but cost explains the need for a fair price. Greed explains the demand for an excessive one. The existence of expenses does not automatically justify years of advance rent, arbitrary increases, or prices disconnected from the quality and value provided. A landlord deserves to recover legitimate costs, but a tenant should not be made to pay whatever the amount the landlord believes desperation will tolerate. My opponent also said advance rent is necessary because tenants default. This is overgeneralization, the chair, the house. We agree that landlords have a legitimate need to protect themselves against default, but risk management is legitimate. Transferring virtually all the risk to the tenant is not fair risk management. My opponent, we never said materials are expensive. My opponent talked about it and came here again to rebut himself after listing the cost of building materials. My opponent also said inflation raises landlord maintenance costs. This is hasty generalization. The opposition blames high rent on rising maintenance costs, but a Ghanaian research found that many multi-occupied low-income houses in Ghana are actually poor maintained, with owners often waiting until facilities completely deteriorate before repairing them. So, if maintenance is truly driving rent increases, where is the maintenance? My opponent, a landlord cannot keep charging more in the name of upkeep while the building receives little upkeep. Legitimate maintenance may justify a reasonable increase, but when rent rises while maintenance is neglected, it becomes a cost issue and a more profit issue. I rest my case.
A high rent does not prove a greedy seller. Sometimes it reflects the true cost of what is being provided. Respected chairperson, panel of jury, accurate timekeeper, worthy opponents, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, good day. Before you is I, Dorcas Nana Amayebua Mensa, and I rise as the supporting speaker to firmly oppose the motion. Quote, high rent in Ghana is caused by greed, not high building materials, unquote. Since my principal speaker has already provided 5 solid strong points to support our stance, kindly permit me to proceed with the other 3. Point 6, we argue that mandatory compliance raises housing costs and ultimately rent. Before a landlord purchases a single bag of cement, the Ghanaian law requires compliance with planning, engineering, environmental and safety regulations. A house is not just a physical structure. It must satisfy both legal and technical requirements before it can be built and occupied. And all these services are not true. The assembly fee schedules show charges for site plan extracts ranging from about 1,000 Ghana cedis to 5,000 Ghana cedis, while surveying and demarcation are up to 1,200 Ghana cedis. Zoning comments around 400 Ghana cedis, alongside other processes and occupancy fees. Building permit charges can also be calculated at roughly 0.63% of the estimated construction cost. The house, for a 5 million Ghana cedis hostel project, the permit charge alone can exceed 31,000 Ghana cedis, even before paying architects, surveyors, engineers, and environmental consultants. Imagine a landlord constructing a 100-room hostel. Before the construction even begins, the developer must secure land documents, conduct surveys, and obtain all necessary regulatory approvals. All these expenses are incurred before a single tenant enters, before a single room is rented, and before a cedi of rental income is earned. The house, if we truly want affordable rent, then we must examine the full cost of producing housing and not simply accuse landlords of greed. Our next argument is that labor and specialist costs raise rent. When we normally talk about construction work, we only consider the money that went into cement, iron rods, and blocks. But before a tenant enters a house, someone must dig the foundation, plaster walls, bend roofs, construct roofs, bend steels, and complete the finishing. And all of these activities requires paid labor. The Ghana Ministry of Works and Housing records construction rates reaching about 200 Ghana cedis per day for masonry work, 180 Ghana cedis for block work, 160 Ghana cedis for carpentry, and about 60 Ghana cedis for laborers. Consider a hypothetical 1 million Ghana cedis project employing 10 masons, 6 carpenters, 10 laborers, and 4 steel workers for 150 working days. At rates within these ranges, the labor bill alone can approach a whopping 500,000 Ghana cedis, even before paying for cement, steel, block, plumbing, electrical work, and finishing. Therefore, the proposition cannot take the entire rent and label it greed, while a substantial portion of the property's original cost went into paying the people who physically produce it. Our last argument is that interest on loans raise the cost of housing and rent. Money used to build a house can itself become expensive when the landlord has to borrow it. We found in a Ghanaian study of housing that 36.4% of landlords surveyed use loan from financial institutions to fund their projects. The same study found that for landlords who borrowed, the cost of paying the interest could make up about 15 to 20%. Also, it found that interest rates on loans to the construction sector range from 19% to 39.3% per year, with many developer loans expected to be paid within just 3 years. Ladies and gentlemen, when a landlord calculates how much rent the property needs to generate, they are not only looking at the money that went into cement and blocks. No, they also consider the money they borrowed and the interest attached to it. Now, Praises mounted this podium and asserted that rent increase without improvement in building. Rent does not only cover improvements, it also covers taxes, labor costs, and the long-term upkeep of the property. A tenant may not see a new wall or a new roof, but the cost of maintaining that property continues to rise. Therefore, the absence of visible improvements does not prove greed. Also, the supporting speaker mounted this podium and asserted that they never said materials are expensive. Then, my dear, come back and tell us what you actually said, because you cannot say you did not say that without telling us what you actually said. They also asserted that the law exists because landlords are greedy. The law does not simply exist because landlords are greedy. Laws are created to regulate both landlords and tenants, protect their rights, maintain fairness in the society. Therefore, the existence of housing laws is proof that it's not a proof that landlords are greedy. It shows the need for proper regulation. Also, the supporting speaker mounted this podium and asserted that landlords exploit desperation of tenants. Landlord may sometimes take advantage of the desperate tenants, yet we agree. But that does not mean every single landlord exploits desperation. Many landlords simply charge rent based on property cost, demand, location, and maintenance. Individual abuse should not be used to condemn all landlords or the entire rental system. Praises also asserted that student hostels prove greed on the side of landlords. If greed alone explains hostel fees, why do prices consistently rise around universities experiencing accommodation shortages? The answer is predictable demand meeting inadequate supply. Hostel owners respond to the market pressure. The shortage existed before the pricing decision. Therefore, scarcity remains the root cause. They also asserted that landlords seek profit in scarcity. Scarcity is a market problem, not proof of landlord greed. When demand is higher than supply, prices naturally rise. Blaming landlords does not create more houses. Building more houses does. Also, the supporting speaker mounted... Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mahatma Gandhi once said, and I quote, "There is enough for everybody's needs, but not enough for everybody's greed." unquote. This perfectly explains Ghana's rental crisis. Although landlords face financial costs, these costs should not be an excuse for them to charge excessive and outrageous rent just for rent. The chair, I am here once again to give a clear summary on the points we raised to support the motion and rebut on some assertions raised by my opponent. We asserted that high rent in Ghana is caused by greed, not high building material costs, because 1, excessive rent advance reveal the greedy motive behind Ghana's rent crisis. 2, agent practices prove that high rent in Ghana is inflated by human greed, not simply by building material costs. 3, the practice of charging rent in US dollars proves that high rent in Ghana is driven by landlords' excessive profit motives, not just the cost of building materials. 4, the Rent Commissioner's hostile intervention exposes how landlord greed can turn scarcity into profit. 5, excessive profit seeking by the building material markets can also drive up rent in Ghana. 6, high rent in Ghana is driven by profit maximization, not simply by rising building costs. 7, rent is higher in high demand locations, even when the building materials are the same. And 8, when landlord shifts the risk to tenants but keeps the profits, high rent becomes exploitation, not simply a reflection of building costs. The chair, we have never denied the factors my opponents are talking about exist. Yes, they do. But the question is whether they justify the rent ultimately extracted from the tenant. The opposition has repeatedly demonstrated the existence of costs, but they have not demonstrated beyond reasonable doubts that those costs explain excessive rental changes. Now, my opponent said that landlords need to recover their investments, such as land, finance, and other costs. We agree, but this is a strawman fallacy. We agree that landlords have the right to recover that investment and make a reasonable profit, and I said that in one of my points. But landlords cannot simply determine arbitrary charges without assessment from rental control. My opponent also said that landlords faces high taxes, land, and utility costs. My supporting speaker clearly explained it, but still they came here and made that assertion. We accept that landlords face legitimate expenses such as taxes, utilities, maintenance all cost money. But then again, cost does not explain the need for cost explains the need for a fair price, and greed explains the demand for an excessive one. My opponent also said that if landlords were greedy, then all rents will equally be expensive. This is a strawman fallacy. Why? Because the fact that landlords charge different amounts actually supports our case. If building costs alone mechanically determine rent, similar properties would have to attract relatively similar prices. But this is the case where they don't. My opponent also said that demand and supply is to be blamed and not greed. The chair, demand explains why landlords have the power to charge, but it can never explain why they charge excessively. Greed does. If demand alone is caused by high rent, then every single landlord facing high demand will charge the same amount. But this is the case where they don't. My opponent also said in their point 2 that landlords need to maintain their properties. Maintenance costs are real. But then again, my opponents are turning a reasonable point into an unlimited excuse for high rent. If the rent rises by thousands of cedis, my opponent, come and show us the thousands of cedis that is worth maintenance, and we will not complain again. My opponents brought evidence to support our claims, because why would rents differ in areas if the same building materials are used? My opponents also brought us the price of cement, but we brought greed. My opponents also claim that building materials are not expensive. This assertion is actually supporting our side. The motion is saying that rent is high because building materials are expensive. So if you come and mount this podium and tell us that it is not expensive, then clearly you are confused about the motion. My opponents also said that the cost of construction, such as the cement that are needed to build a house, is expensive. So technically, rent should be also expensive. I said in our 5th point that greed is also on the part of the building material dealers, not only on the part of the landlords. My opponent also said that landlords face economic pressure. My opponent, the fact that landlords face economic pressure, they share the house. I rest my case.
The House, I am back again to briefly run through what my supporting speaker and I talked about. Point 1, we raised that rent begins with the cost of producing a house, not simply landlord's greed. Point 2, we raised that rent reflect the cost of creating and maintaining property, not landlord's profit. Point 3, we raised that greed cannot explain market consistency. 4, high housing costs restrict supply and raise rent. 5, cost of making land habitable and providing essential infrastructure raises housing costs. 6, mandatory compliance raises housing cost and ultimately rent. 7, labor and specialist costs raise rent. And lastly, 8, interest on loans raise the cost of housing and rent. Panel, before I disprove my opponent's argument, once again, my ladies, I would like to use their own evidence to bury them into their own 6 feet. Also, they claim at their point 8 that there is some section which says landlords are usually formal in their dealings with tenants and have improved facilities compared to other categories. So I wonder why they are claiming that landlords misuse money given to them. Also, I would like to show you some images. Panel, I am reading from joyonline.com. Joyonline.com. Here's a clear evidence. It says the house. It says on the year loan tenure, Standard Chartered Bank Limited offered interest rate at 29.67%. Absa Bank Ghana Limited at 32. All what it says is that, what it's telling us is that when someone uses loan to construct a house, they must pay back with a huge amount of money. So I wonder the pay setters are targeting on greed when the landlord charges higher. Also, I also have an image here claiming that the president, our former president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on GhanaWeb.com. And it says the president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has said that an additional financing of about $46 million is required to completely revive the Sagleme House project. So when this project becomes successful and you are given just one apartment to rent, I wonder, and you are charged heavily, I wonder why they are claiming that landlords are greedy or the owner of that apartment and project is greedy. Also, they claim that landlords are greedy everywhere, so they cause rising rent. That's a truly fallacy of single cost. Greed is a human constant behavior, but interest rates, import duties, and inflation change. You cannot explain a shifting economic trend with a static psychological trait. A question I would like to pose: why do rental prices growth stabilize during periods of strong macroeconomic stability if greed controls the market? Also, the president talked about some agents. Doctor, that is an ad hominem fallacy. They are attacking someone's issue, not the motion itself. They also said, I came to raise the fifth point that landlords are required to pay utility cost. That's not what I said. My fifth point states that landlords make their infrastructure habitable. Also, they claim that they also said the law exists because landlords are greedy. That is a secular reasoning fallacy. The law does not exist simply because landlords are greedy. Laws are created to regulate both landlord and tenant, protect their rights, and maintain fairness in the society. Therefore, the existence of housing law is not proof that landlords are greedy. It shows that the need for proper regulation. Now, the House, before I resume my seat, I would like for you to permit me to become your Kali priest for today. Now, the Bible says and teaches us in Luke chapter 14 verse 28, and I quote, count the cost before building. Therefore, when the cost of land, labor, and building material rises, the cost of providing housing also rises, and this can naturally affect rent. I'm not the one who wrote the Bible. The Lord said, the House, my submissions are clear. Thank you.
Another great contest going by. Please put your hands together for them one more time for me. And that was the second contest of the day, the second quarterfinals at the 2026 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate. It was between St. Louis Senior High School and Church of Christ Senior High School. St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis, Chrisek. Okay, so in a bit we'll get to find out the schools that are advancing to the semi-final stage of this year's competition. And like I said to you a while ago, the school that advances today will automatically be seated for next year's competition. Please, you can take your seats, and before you walk off the stage, show them some love one more time with a round of applause. For those of you watching and for your information, there will be no contest tomorrow. There will be no contest tomorrow. The next set of contests for the quarterfinal stage will be on Wednesday at 1 p.m. At this point in time, many thanks to Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. And they say, anytime I say Kel Charcoal Toothpaste, please say happy smile. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Happy smile. Thank you so much. Now, it's been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions and with all the necessary protocols and approved by the FDA. Now, the constant use of Kel Charcoal Toothpaste gives you fresh breath, whitens teeth, reduces dental plaques, and prevents cavity, and makes gum healthy and strong. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste is recommended for adults and children from 6 years. Get a pack at your local supermarket today. Now, it is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. You can call them on 0246-864-798 or 050-145-4462. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste, like we all said a while ago, happy smile. We also say a big thank you to Christian Service University, and as we say thank you, I'd like to inform you that they are admitting students for the 2026-2027 academic year. Now, for over 50 years, Christian Service University has been training ethical and visionary leaders who are making a difference in Ghana and beyond. Applying now for their undergraduate and postgraduate programs, including their flagship Doctor of Ministry in Christian Leadership and Management, gain holistic education grounded in Christian values with opportunities in scholarships, entrepreneurship, and employability for a better future. Please, you can find Christian Service University at Star Junction, Santasi. You can also log on to www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is the university of choice. Jackson University College, we say good afternoon and we say thank you because they are also offering master's programs in English and Maths, education, guidance and counseling, as well as educational leadership and administration. Now, they also offer bachelor, post-diploma and postgraduate programs in education, so you can sign up for their short IT courses in digital marketing, software engineering, cybersecurity, web development, data analytics, and more. Call Jackson University College right now for more information on 020-126-0290. I can see Patricia with bags. And what are the different colors now? What are the colors you having today?
Okay, so I have with me the beautiful color yellow and red. Of course, you see my beautiful Sasso insecticide spray bags, and it tells you that I have something beautiful inside all of these bags. Who is ready to win?
And as usual from Samara?
Samara Company Limited, where we ensure that there's actually quality first. Now, who is ready to win? Hey, I'm just saying one person shout. The other schools, are you not here? Who is ready to win? All right, so this is actually the icing on the cake. Welcome to the Kel Charcoal Toothpaste minute here, where you get to answer very simple, easy questions. Then you take something beautiful home away, of course, from Samara Company Limited. And so, Becca, as usual, please help me to know who will raise their hands first, and of course, will give me the answer to my very simple questions.
All
Are we ready?
Ready.
Are we ready?
Ready.
Someone should come and spell Kel Charcoal Toothpaste.
Okay, she's just by you. She's just by you.
Rebecca, the people behind me, they are terms and conditions. They apply. They are not part. If you are right behind me, they are not. Any other person, Rebecca, you select for me. Come and spell Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Please clap for her. Those at the back, I'll give you something there. Oh, keep clapping. Sweetie, pass here. Hey, Rebecca, this lady and Kel, the last time she won something.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she won something. Today she's here to come and spell Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're welcome to spelling bee session for the Kel Charcoal Toothpaste High School debate. Boss, don't worry. Okay, so please, are we all ready to listen to her?
Yes.
Spell Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Please listen attentively. If she's wrong, let me know.
So, okay. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. KELCHARCOAL. Toothpaste. Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste.
Rebecca, should I add another word?
No.
Should I add another word?
No.
Oh, it says if I want to, and I really want you to spell me the word bamboo.
Bamboo. BAMBOO. Bamboo.
Oh. You tell me which of the bags do you like? Just select which one you like. Any of them. Please clap for her. Hey. Second question. Who is ready to spell again? Who is ready to spell?
This gentleman from Opoku Ware School.
Please
get up. Yes.
Please come. Let's clap for Katechi. Rebecca.
Yes.
Please spell the word. Hey, chairman.
That's a long distance relationship.
I know, right? Gentlemen, can you sit? Because hey, but if you sit to you, come and stand next to me. Don't worry. Oh, please clap for him as he's standing next to me. So your word is. Should I make it easy for you? 2 words. Spell me activated and also mint. I'll add the third one if you get the 2 correct.
Okay, so for activated, ACTIVATED, and for the mint, MINT. Mint.
A round of applause for him. Patricia, let's be fair. Give it to him. 2 words. Give it to him.
2 words.
Give it to him. Let's go.
Which bag do you like? Which size are you? Should I even ask? Okay, let's clap for him. He's won this beautiful bag from Samara Company Limited. Okay, so I have not seen anybody from St. Louis. Hey, pace setters, where are you?
Come
the
and
next
set the
question is
pace.
for you. Come and set the pace. In fact, you should. St. Louis, please come. The answer is very cocoa. So I know you. Can we clap for someone from St. Louis? As the person comes. Oh, please clap for her. You are not coming to spell, oh. Don't worry. The spelling bee is over.
Oh.
We'll continue on Wednesday.
Oh.
So last time you came, you were giving Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. And I know you use it, right?
Yes.
So tell me 3 things that Kel Charcoal Toothpaste does for you or did for you when you used it.
Okay, so
look into the beautiful camera for me. Everybody's watching you on TV.
Okay, so whenever I use Kel toothpaste, because of its anti-cavity properties, it prevents me from having cavities. Secondly, it promotes healthy gums and it brightens my teeth.
A round of applause for her.
I said 3. You do. I'll add 2. Madam, add 2.
Okay, so it also strengthens my teeth and it promotes a smile.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Oh, you are not smiling. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Okay, so the last school. Chrisek has come. KNUST SHS High School. My dream, where are you? Should I call your patron? Okay, so please let's clap for KNUST. KNUST. My dream. Hey.
All right, there's a lady coming. A round of applause for her.
Let's clap for her. Your school is 60 years, right?
65.
Hey, I've taken down 5 from it, and you are giving back to you. Are you ready to win this beautiful bag?
Yes.
Oh, please draw closer to me. I know you are all taller than me. Don't do like you have not seen it. Anyway, so which company produces Kel Charcoal Toothpaste, and how many grams do they come in?
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste is produced by Trasaco Company. Wait. Sorry. It is produced by Samara Company Limited. And it comes in 18 grams and 84 grams. Sorry, it comes in 18 grams. That's what we received.
Okay, wait. Let me explain that. You see the 18 grams you are holding, it is not sold on the market. We just dashed that one out
as the Father Christmas that we all are at Samara. So 18 gram no uko dwaso baby a unyan kitinkiti say ento. We did it specially for you.
Patricia.
So once again, please the grams.
Let someone else bail her out so they can
share. There's someone from KNUST to bail her out. Please clap for him. We understand the tension. It's not Trasaco.
So it's 150 grams and 80 grams.
Hey, Rebecca, the applause is on the stage. But let's clap for him. He actually got it right. Yes, thank you so much. KNUST, go and share it. Please clap for them. All right, so that is the Kelchaco Toothpaste minute right here on the Love FM Kelchaco Toothpaste High School's debate at the Christian Service University. Go to any supermarket right now. Get yourself a pack of Kelchaco Toothpaste. It is very, very affordable. It's been approved by the FDA. They are scattered all across, of course, the 16 regions of Ghana. Locate them in Kumasi at Dunkirk, right opposite the Washing Bay. Find them also in Accra at plot 144 Sasso Street at Dringano, East Legon. Kelchaco Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Kelchaco Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
All right. Patrons. Rebecca, the message to the patrons. We have something for you. Come and answer my question at the foyer and you get it. Please, let's clap for our patrons.
Woo! All right, and let's make it louder for all of our sponsors. It's not loud enough, guys. It's not loud enough. Samara Company Limited for bringing us Kelchaco Toothpaste. Christian Service University, keep clapping for them. Keep clapping for them. To all of our sponsors, we say a very big thank you to all of you. And to yourselves, to your patrons, to your schools, a round of applause for yourselves. Are you ready for the comments? You're not ready. When I ask, are you ready? I want to hear you say, ready. Are you ready? Ready. Are you ready? Miss Bao says the principal speaker for OWAS is not giving us energy, even though he is very good. Peach Blush says this girl, Wabebu, this girl from KNUST, you've come again. And Evelyn responded by saying, oh, she did us dirty last year. She did us real bad. Peach comes again to say, I was shocked when I saw her again. Oh, my opponent, you see you are deceived. Who remembered that video from last year? That's her. And then Mash also says, but the supporting speaker of OWAS is on fire. Micah says, heat to KNUST. And Miko says, this St. Louis principal speaker is so good. I love her. Timmy Timer says, Chrisek all the way. G Wisdom says, Chrisek is full of energy. Get your max and go your way. Vision Tech also says, great win for Chrisek. Michael says, Opoku Ware School, your principal speaker is the real definition of eloquence. Well done for choosing him. Michael also says, Ernestina, you came prepared and you will definitely conquer. Edlina says, Ade, is he an economic student? Wow, this is actually for the Chrisek principal speaker. So these are the comments I received on social media. And before we announce the results, I want Chrisek to give us just 1 minute of Jama to heat up the atmosphere. Chrisek, on your feet. All right, on your feet. Chrisek. Are you ready? All right, do it for me.
Hosanna, onyame woho. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Hosanna, hallelujah, Hosanna, onyame woho. Mama wadewa woto onyame so. Oto jose, onyame woho. Mama wadewa woto onyame so. Oto jose, onyame woho. Hallelujah. 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 Kena, and I again, I am Kena.
Thank you very much, David. Over to you.
Well, thank you very much, one and all, to our accurate timekeeper, to the judges here present, to Madam Chairperson, to our viewers on television, to our viewers on social media, and of course, to all of you who listen to us on radio. We say thank you. The results are in for both contests. And like I said to you, the school that advances today does not just advance to the semi-final stage of the competition, but the school will be seeded for the year 2027's edition of the Love FM High Schools debate. Now, our lead judge, Dr. Peter Arthur, when he was sharing the rules of engagement with you, told you that there is a majority decision and there is a unanimous decision. He also went on to tell you that if even one judge's score is more than that of two other judges, the two other judges' scores overrides that. That will make it a majority decision. Then there's the unanimous decision where all three judges scores for the winning school. Have that at the back of your mind. The first contest of the day was between Opoku Ware School and KNUST Senior High School. Yours was a unanimous decision, meaning that all the three judges scored for the winning school. Now the results. When it comes to organization and clarity, we got 21 from Judge 1, 23 from Judge 2, 26 from Judge 3. 21, 23, 26 sums up to 70. Opoku Ware School, argument and development, you got 19 from one of our judges, 21 from a judge, and 24 from the other judge. 19, 21, 24 sums up to 64. Effective use of rebuttal, Judge 1 gave you 4, Judge 2, 9, Judge 3, 13, 4, 9, 13 sums up to 26. Let's now talk about presentation style. You got 10 from a judge, 11 from the other, and then 12 from the final judge. 10, 11, 12 sums up to 33. Opoku Ware School, role as a particular debater, a judge gave you 8, another gave you 8, the last judge also gave 8. 8 sums up to 24. So let's put your results together. 70, 64, 26, 33, 24 sums up to 217 for Opoku Ware School. Now, KNUST Senior High School. Organization and clarity, Judge 1 gave you 26, Judge 2 gave you 25, Judge 3 gave you 26. 26, 25, 26 sums up to 77. Argument and development, KNUST Senior High School. You got 25 from Judge 1, 24 from Judge 2, and 25 from Judge 3. 25, 24, 25 sums to 74. Effective use of rebuttal, KNUST Senior High School. You got 15 from a judge, 12 from another, and then 15 from yet the last judge. 15, 12, 15 sums up to 42. Presentation style, you got 13 from one of our judges, 12 from the other, 15 from the last judge. 13, 12, 15 sums up to 40. Then role as a particular debater, you got 9 from a judge, 9 from the other, and then 10 from the final or the last judge. 9, 9, 10 sums up to 28. So let's put it together. 77, 74, 42, 40, 28 with 261 points. With 261 points, and based on a unanimous decision, KNUST Senior High School advances to the next stage of the competition. We say congratulations to KNUST Senior High School, and then to Opoku Ware School, we say better luck next time. You did very, very well. Now, KNUST, you can stand now and celebrate your victory by singing for us the school anthem. KNUST, do this very, very quickly. KNUST, do it very quickly. Last year, you were in the semifinals. We will see you next time. That's next week for another competition or contest in the semi-final stage of the 2026 edition of the Love FM High Schools debate. So, Francis, help them sing the anthem now.
Not to look behind. Bless the prairie. his hero, author of his head, crush a dream of shrinking by Jehovah led, forward through the desert, through mountains and floods, Jordan flows before us, Zion beams with light. Jordan flows before us, Zion beams with light.
Emmanuel, Nyansapo. See you next week. Now that contest between St. Louis Senior High School and Church of Christ. And like I said, this, unlike the previous contest, that was a unanimous decision. This is a majority decision, which means 2 judges scored for the winning school. St. Louis Senior High School, let's begin with your results. Organization and clarity, you got 25 from Judge 1, 23 from Judge 2, 25 from Judge 3, 25, 23, 25, sums up to 73. Argument and development, St. Louis, you got 23 from one judge, 24 from another, and then 22 from the last judge. 23, 24, 22, sums up to 69. Effective use of rebuttal, St. Louis, you got 15 from a judge, 10 from a judge, and then 12 from the last judge. 15, 10, 12, sums up to 37. Presentation style, St. Louis, you got 12 from one of our judges, 10 from the other, and then yet 12 from the other judge. 12, 10, 12, sums up to 34. Role as a particular debater, one of the judges gave 8, another 8, the last 8. 8, 8, 8, sums up to 24. Let's put it together. 73, 69, 37, 34, 24. That sums up to 237 for St. Louis Senior High School. Now that of Church of Christ. Organization and clarity, got 21 from a judge, 25 from another, and then 25 from the last judge. 21, 25, 25, sums up to 71. Argument and development, you got 20 from one of our judges, 23 from the other, and then 26 from the third judge. So 20, 23, 26, sums up to 69. Now, effective use of rebuttal, you got 7 from a judge, 11 from the other, and then 14 from the final judge. 7, 11, 14, sums up to 32. Presentation style, Church of Christ, you got 9 from a judge, 11 from the other, and then 13 from the last judge. 9, 11, 13, sums up to 33. Role as a particular debater, you got 6 from a judge, 8 from the other, and then 9 from the last judge. So 6, 8, 9, sums up to 23. Let's put it together. 71, 69, 32, 33, 23, sums up to 228. But listen carefully. This is a majority decision. So although St. Louis got 237, and then Church of Christ got 228, 2 judges scored for Church of Christ. So they advance to the next stage of the competition. And although, like I said, although St. Louis got 237, although St. Louis got 237, and Church of Christ got 228, they advanced because 2 judges scored for them. Well, I'm told to go through it again. So Church of Christ advances to the next stage of the competition with a majority decision over St. Louis. So Church of Christ will also stand, will also sing your school anthem as you celebrate your victory. After singing, or as you're singing, Patricia, you can take it away.
Arise, best will help us to achieve our major aim. So alright, embrace the status of your mother's womb. So alright, embrace the status of your mother's womb.
Okay, David, thank you so much, and we have come to the end of proceedings for today for the Love FM Culture Toothpaste High School debate, and I'm excited to share with you that KNUST Senior High School and Church of Christ Senior High School have made it to the semi-final stage of this competition. Congratulations to them, and of course their opposing schools for today. And remember, we're still live for Radio Love 99.5 FM on TV, Joy Prime, Joy Learning, and also on social media with the hashtag LUVFMHSD. And let's speak to the school that is, of course, celebrating their 65th anniversary, and they are going home today with victory. That is KNUST Senior High School. I have the debaters in our shot right now, and you were earlier telling me that all that you were excited about is being seeded for next year. Is that really the truth, or I heard wrong?
Well, yes, we are excited about being seeded for next year, but we are also targeting the trophy for this year and next year too.
I see, you are also targeting it, but tell me, what different thing did you do today on stage?
Well, with what we did on stage, I just want to say factor non-verbal actions, not words.
Ayo, action, not words. Let me speak to your sister also here. You literally ran around the whole foyer screaming, jumping up and all that. I don't know, tell me, what does this victory mean to you?
This victory means a lot to me, and first of all, let me use this opportunity to thank the Almighty God for helping us to get the seeded spots for next year. This victory means a lot to us because this is a step to winning.
What do you want to tell Opoku Ware School?
I would like to tell Opoku Ware School that we love them, although this is just a contest. They are Katache, but they couldn't scatter their echi, so they are
Ayo, I hear you. Let me go speak to your patron right now. Share something also with us at the end of it all.
This is a victory for all my grandma. This year, we are celebrating the 65th anniversary of the school, and we want to use this victory to icing the cake. So we invite all my grandma to come to the Grand Deba on 29th of this month and come help us jubilate and celebrate this 65th anniversary. And most importantly, we are happy because we've been seeded. The seeding is the first step to the victory, to clinching the trophy. Our main objective for this year is to win the trophy. And now we are a step ahead, or a step towards winning the ultimate that we came for. So we are not coming to joke. We keep improving and hitting up till we claim the trophy.
Okay, so they are waiting to clinch the ultimate trophy. That is what KNUST Senior High School is saying right now. So we'd like to say congratulations to them. Like you said, they've taken out Opoku Ware School from this competition. Congratulations. Let's now speak to our friend from Church of Christ Senior High School and Hotefo as they also come and tell us how they feel about the victory right this minute. Oh my goodness. And I mean, you can see the gentleman right now. Okay, share with us, yeah?
So I think last 2 years by this time we met Siluwi. I think the round of 16. Unfortunately, that same day Owas went home, and that same day Siluwi went home. So today they are going home with their husbands. It's quite unfortunate, but we did our best and God did the rest. We honor him, we thank him, we dedicate this week to the entire staff, our headmaster, the students' body, and the whole WDS group. We thank God.
You can remain down there. You can potentially meet KNUST Senior High School. You've seen their performance today. Are you ready for them?
In the finals, you see, we take each contest at a time. So what happened today is not guaranteed for tomorrow. So definitely we are going to stay back, prepare, and meet. I know we are going to meet either St. Hubert or Educhum. Yeah. St. Hubert or Educhum in the semis, and we are going back to school and prepare for them. Thank you.
Wow, that's quite interesting. You are potentially calling a win for them. But let me speak to this student here. Of course, he was a debater for Church of Christ Senior High School today. I understand your sister is in so much tears.
Honestly, we weren't expecting to win. So when the decision was becoming quite tough, we lost hope. But as far as God has given the answer, we have nothing to say. And as a matter of fact, because we are the winners, Catalesta, we're here.
What do you want to tell St. Louis Girls Senior High School?
We've written history, and history doesn't tell lies. That's what I can tell.
Okay, so they say they have written history, and history doesn't tell us. That is Church of Christ Senior High School signing off today for us here on the Love FM Kelchako Toothpaste High Schools debate at the Christian Service University. My name is Patricia Mabosu. Would like to say thank you to all of our proud sponsors. Of course, our title sponsor, Kelchako Toothpaste from Samara Company Limited, and also to the Ghana Education Service, the Ashanti Regional Students Representative Council, the Conference of Affairs of Assisted Senior High Schools, to you who watch us on TV, on Joy Prime, Joy Learning, to you who listen to us on Radio Love 99.5 FM, and to everybody who also followed the conversation on our social media handle with the hashtag LUVSHS. We are so grateful. God willing, Wednesday will come your way with Contest 3 and Contest 4 of the quarterfinal stage of the Love FM High Schools debate. From production in Kumasi, we say we'll see you. Have a beautiful day, and we love you so much.